welcome to Tales in the Dark. I know many of you enjoy relaxing with these videos, so I recommend turning down the volume until my voice is barely audible. It'll make the experience even more soothing. Before you close your eyes, let me know in the comments where you're listening from. Leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you and enjoy listening. Story 1. Late one stormy night, as the rain tapped gently on my window, my phone stirred with a vibration that cut through the stillness of my dark living room. The number flashing on the screen was a stranger to me, a mysterious visitor in the late hours. The ringtone echoed like a plea, distant yet insistent, as if carrying a message from realms unseen. The air held a weight, heavy with the scent of rain on asphalt, mingling with the whisper of something lost, something not meant to be easily found. Each digit of the unknown number seemed to pulse with an otherworldly rhythm, a beat that resonated with the rain's gentle percussion outside. The street lamps cast amber pools of light on the wet pavement, creating a scene of soft, scattered diamonds in the night. Drawn by an inexplicable urge, I left the comfort of my armchair and approached the window, the wooden floors creaking beneath my feet. The glow of the screen illuminated the darkness, casting a soft light on my reflection as I peered out into the rainy night. The world outside appeared hazy, as if veiled by a curtain of memories and dreams. The phone continued its persistent vibration, a gentle reminder of the unknown caller waiting on the other end. Something about those digits tugged at the edges of my consciousness, like a half-remembered dream fluttering just out of reach. My reflection in the window glass seemed ethereal, a ghostly presence against the backdrop of the night. The familiar objects in the room took on a strange quality in the dim light, their shapes shifting and twisting in the shadows. With a hesitant finger, I finally answered the call, the static crackling like a whisper from another time. At first, there was only the sound of soft breathing on the line, a steady rhythm that filled the silence of the room. Beneath the breath, a faint melody played, its notes elusive and familiar, like a tune from a forgotten memory. Hello? My voice barely rose above a whisper, a soft murmur in the night. The breathing paused and the music grew clearer, a gentle lullaby weaving through the static. It was a melody I knew, one that my grandmother used to hum on winter evenings as she rocked in her chair, her knitting needles clicking in time. The caller remained silent, yet their presence felt warm and comforting, like a familiar embrace in the darkness. I sank back into my armchair, letting the lullaby wash over me, a soothing balm for the restless night. The rain outside seemed to dance to the melody, its rhythm blending with the distant hum of the phone. Memories bubbled to the surface like ripples on a pond. The scent of lavender hand cream, the soft click of knitting needles, the warmth of my grandmother's smile as she worked. She had left this world years ago, on a night much like this one, but her presence lingered in the air, a whisper of love and comfort. As the static on the line grew stronger, patterns emerged like shadows in the night. Words formed in the visual noise, fleeting and ephemeral. The lullaby faded, but the breathing remained, a steady heartbeat in the darkness. My grandmother's old phone number floated in my mind, a beacon from the past beckoning me home. Time seemed to stretch and bend, like a slow dance in the shadows. The room pulsed with a gentle energy, the lamp flickering in time with the breathing on the phone. The rain continued its soft symphony on the window, a backdrop to the mysterious connection unfolding before me. I found myself humming along with the distant lullaby, my voice blending with the static in a harmonious chorus. The memories and the music intertwined, creating a tapestry of sound and emotion that wrapped around me like a familiar cloak. The night held its breath, caught in a moment of stillness and magic. And then, as suddenly as it had begun, the call ended. The static faded into silence, leaving only the sound of rain and the gentle hum of the lamp. The clock on the wall showed the call had lasted from midnight to 1 a.m., though time had lost its meaning in that timeless moment. I never heard from that number again, the mystery of the night remaining unsolved. But on rainy evenings, when the world is shrouded in mist and memories, I catch myself humming that old lullaby. And in those fleeting moments, I swear I can hear a whisper of static in the rain, a lingering echo of a connection that transcends the boundaries of ordinary reality. Story 2. In the quiet embrace of an ancient library, a realm of secrets awaited me beyond the ordinary shelves. The air was thick with the scent of time, aged paper and leather mingling in a dance of history. Soft whispers, like echoes of long-forgotten conversations, beckoned from hidden corners, drawing me further into the labyrinth of knowledge. Each step echoed on the wooden floor, a symphony of hushed secrets shared by the very walls. Raindrops tapped gently against the tall, century-old windows, casting a soothing spell upon the room. Dust motes pirouetted in the soft light that filtered through arched windows, their delicate movements weaving a tranquil tapestry of shadows. The floorboards murmured beneath my feet, as if whispering tales of bygone eras, inviting me to explore deeper into the library's mysteries. A peculiar alcove, tucked away in a forgotten section, caught my attention. The shelves curved subtly inward, revealing a collection of books without titles, their covers adorned with shifting patterns that seemed alive under my touch. The whispers grew more insistent here, a chorus of murmurs that hinted at untold wonders just beyond reach. As I traced the patterns on the spines, a sense of ancient knowledge seeped into my bones. The texture of the leather bindings shifted beneath my fingertips, a silent invitation to unravel the mysteries within. The whispers, like pages turning in a long-forgotten tome, teased my curiosity with their elusive secrets. A scent, elusive and enchanting, wove through the familiar library aroma, a blend of rain-soaked earth and night-blooming flowers, stirring memories of forgotten dreams. Some books stood slightly askew, creating a subtle design that beckoned me closer. Stepping back, I beheld a doorway formed by the arrangement of the tomes, a gateway to realms unknown. Despite my logical mind's protests, I sensed a deliberate design in the alignment of the books, a puzzle crafted by unseen hands ages past. Time lost its meaning within those walls, the golden light casting a timeless glow upon my journey. The rain's gentle serenade wove through the whispers, a harmonious backdrop to my exploration. Selecting a book at random, its cover unmarked, save for a compass rose symbol, I felt a resonance between my hand and its ancient pages. Opening it revealed not words, but maps of impossible landscapes, cities defying logic, gardens reaching for the heavens, and libraries within libraries. Each illustration whispered of hidden truths, drawing me deeper into their enigmatic embrace. The whispers swelled in intensity as I delved into the maps, their patterns mirroring the arrangement of the shelves around me. Connections unfurled like delicate threads, weaving a tapestry of revelation that bound the library and its secrets in a timeless dance. I stood upon the spot marked by an X, feeling a subtle shift in the very fabric of reality. The whispers, once distant, now enveloped me in their soothing embrace, merging with the rain's gentle cadence. Shadows danced in the shifting light, guiding my gaze to unseen wonders just beyond reach. The library had transformed into a realm of wonder and mystery, a sanctuary of peace amidst the chaos of the world. Hours slipped by unnoticed as I traced the intricate connections between the maps and my surroundings, each revelation a new chapter in the library's silent song. The whispers became my companions, their unintelligible murmurs, a lullaby of ancient wisdom. When the time came to depart, I placed the book back in its rightful place, a silent tribute to the mysteries that had revealed themselves to me. As I retraced my steps through the hallowed halls, a sense of tranquility enveloped me, the whispers fading into the echoes of memory. The rain continued its gentle symphony against the windows, a timeless melody that whispered of forgotten truths. Though the library's secrets eluded me upon subsequent visits, I carried with me the whispers of that enchanted afternoon. In the quiet moments of rainy afternoons, I find solace in the memory of that mysterious encounter. The library taught me that some mysteries are meant to linger just beyond our grasp, reminders of the boundless wonder that surrounds us. Those whispers, like echoes of a forgotten melody, guide me back to a place where time stands still, and the mysteries of the world unfold in gentle whispers of the rain. Story 3. In the hazy twilight of an urban labyrinth, my footsteps led me to a peculiar sight etched upon a weathered brick wall. A mysterious rhyme, worn yet melodic, seemed to beckon with a haunting allure. The evening air was cool, tinged with the scent of rain on concrete, as if the very city whispered an ancient secret, meant only for the daring souls who dared to pause and listen. Running my fingers along the rough surface, I felt the words beneath my touch, existing in a realm between presence and memory. The verses seemed to breathe, their ink caught in a delicate dance of existence. A gentle breeze drifted through the narrow street, carrying the soft rustle of fallen leaves and echoes of lives long gone. As I gazed closer, a peculiar realization dawned upon me. The rhyme bore traces of multiple hands, each line penned in a different style, blending together in an enigmatic harmony. Some letters flowed like elegant scripts, while others stood rigid and precise, yet together they formed a seamless tapestry. The flickering street lamps cast warm shadows that danced across the wall, painting a scene of ethereal beauty in the growing darkness. Pulling out my phone to illuminate the text, I watched in bewilderment as the words seemed to shift and rearrange under the artificial light, a trick of perception that left me questioning reality. And as night descended, I found myself drawn back to that wall time and again, the verses lingering in my thoughts like an ancient melody. Other wanderers passed by, their fingers tracing the same path along the bricks, as if drawn by an invisible force. Weeks turned into months, and I discovered similar verses adorning other walls across the city, each one a piece of a larger puzzle, a never-ending poem weaving through the urban tapestry. Capturing each discovery through my lens, I found the images blurred, as if the words defied capture, elusive in their mystery. Delving deeper into the enigma, I noticed a subtle shift in my perception. The city seemed to hum with a hidden rhythm, its pulse echoing through the streets and alleys. Even the rain fell in a symphony of whispers, a language of the ancient world that spoke to my soul. On quiet nights, I stood before the original wall, where the rhyme remained unchanged, a testament to the timeless secrets it held. Strangers would join me, their eyes reflecting the same wonder and curiosity, a silent kinship born of shared understanding. The verses whispered of a time when cities breathed with life, when memories lingered in the very stones, and spirits danced in the shadows. They spoke of a hidden realm intertwined with our own, visible only to those who dared to listen. Some nights, I swore I heard a soft hum emanating from the bricks, a lullaby of forgotten dreams and urban echoes that lulled me into a peaceful reverie. With each passing season, the words seemed to shift, mirroring the changing landscape around them, shimmering in the summer heat, flowing in the autumn rains, and crystallizing in the winter frost. And yet I returned to the wall, a silent pilgrim to its mysteries, discovering new lines and subtle changes that hinted at an ever-evolving tale. The enigmatic rhyme touched each soul differently. Some found solace, others contemplation, but all were drawn back by an unspoken bond, a shared journey of discovery in those ancient words. The mystery remained unsolved, a testament to the enduring magic that dwelt within the city's heart. As night descended and the city settled into its nocturnal rhythm, I pondered the unknown authors who left their mark on the wall. Were they still among us, adding to their endless creation? Did they walk these streets, seeking the echoes of their words in the night? Perhaps we had crossed paths, connected by invisible threads of understanding. all part of a story that continued to unfold in the margins of our urban existence. And so, as I lingered in the shadows of the city, I found a sense of peace in the enduring mystery, in the whispers of brick and mortar, in the gentle persistence of words that transcended time and understanding. And as the night wove its tapestry of dreams, I knew that the rhyme would endure, a silent sentinel in the ever-shifting landscape of our shared existence. Story 4. In the deep hush of midnight, nestled in my bed, a stray echo caught my attention, a voice both familiar and achingly distant. The air conditioner's hum and the leaves' gentle rustle outside mingled into a spectral chorus, stirring memories of a past I thought had slipped away. That night, my bedroom felt transformed. Moonlight danced on the walls, painting silver patterns that seemed to breathe with a soft rhythm. The air held a weight, a sense of anticipation like the calm before a storm. Shadows gathered in the corners, darker than usual, as if conspiring to share secrets among themselves. The voice returned, softer this time, a whisper on the edge of perception. It carried a melody akin to wind chimes in a gentle breeze, bittersweet and haunting. Sitting up slowly, my blanket slipping off with a gentle sigh, my bare feet touched the cool, solid wooden floor, grounding me in reality as my mind wandered into the realm of the unexplained. Navigating my house at night had always been a familiar ritual of muscle memory and cautious steps, but that night, each room exuded an unfamiliar aura. The hallway stretched before me, the walls seemingly swallowing the dim light instead of reflecting it back. Family photos observed my passage, their familiar faces distant and aloof. The voice guided me to my study, where books stood in orderly rows, their spines a tapestry of muted colors in the darkness. My favorite reading chair sat empty, yet it seemed to await my arrival, still warm as if recently vacated. The antique table lamp, once my grandmother's, cast a soft amber glow that pulsed gently with each phantom whisper. Among my collection of vinyl records, one album stood apart, its sleeves showing signs of frequent handling. I couldn't recall the last time I had touched it, yet there it lay, a patient messenger awaiting my attention. The dust cover of the record player was raised, though I was sure I had closed it the night before. Acting on impulse, I slid the record from its sleeve. The vinyl shimmered in the lamp's light, drawing me in with concentric circles of reflection, swirling towards the center like a hypnotic spell. Placing it on the turntable, the needle found its groove unaided, and music filled the room. Not a symphony, but the sound of rain on a tin roof, mingling with distant piano notes as if emerging from the depths of memory. The voice intertwined with these sounds, clearer now, speaking words that felt like fragmented memories from a dream. It reminisced about summer evenings on a porch swing, promises beneath starlit skies, and the passage of time slipping through our grasp like sand. The antique clock in the corner ticked steadily, each swing stretching into eternity. The voice spoke of my grandmother, evoking memories of evenings spent listening to her tales, her hands busy with needlework under the warm glow of the same lamp. Had she known about this voice? Had she left me a message only now unfolding before me? The room's temperature shifted, creating invisible currents that made the shadows dance. Patterns emerged from the darkness, reminiscent of the lace doilies she used to craft, intricate designs hinting at hidden meanings. Sinking into my reading chair, its familiar embrace enveloped me as the voice continued its ethereal narrative. Its words fell into a rhythm harmonizing with the clock's pendulum, weaving a hypnotic tapestry of recollections and enigmas. My fingers traced the grooves on the chair's armrests, mirroring gestures made over the years. The bookshelves seemed to inhale with the cadence of the voice, their contents shifting imperceptibly. A volume of poetry gifted by my grandmother years ago caught my eye, its spine glowing faintly in the lamplight. The voice recited verses I had read to her in her final days. Time flowed like honey in winter, rich with meaning yet elusive. As dawn approached, its gray tendrils creeping through the window, the voice began to fade. The record spun silently, the needle tracing its endless path. The lamp's light pulsed one last time, and in that fleeting moment I grasped a profound truth about memory and loss. Some voices never truly depart, they linger, waiting for the right moment to whisper their truths. When morning arrived in full, I found myself still in the chair, the record player silent, the lamp extinguished. The room bore no trace of the night's events, save for a book of poetry adorned with my grandmother's annotations. Dream or reality mattered little compared to the lingering connection, a feeling of intimacy with the vast unknown. The voice may have faded with the night, but its echo lingered, a gentle reminder that certain mysteries are meant to be felt, experienced in the quiet space between knowing and wondering, where the most beautiful enigmas find their dwelling place. Story 5. As I rummaged through the forgotten treasures of an old storage room, my hands brushed against the cold surface of a dusty mirror hidden behind stacks of neglected boxes. With a slow, deliberate motion, I wiped away the years of abandonment that had veiled its secrets, and as the glass cleared, my reflection began to waver and shift, revealing fleeting glimpses of moments yet to unfold. A musty scent, a blend of ancient fabric and weathered wood, wafted through the air, enveloping me in a cocoon of nostalgia and anticipation. I found myself standing transfixed, suspended between the tangible present and the enigmatic realm of an uncertain future. At first glance, the mirror appeared unremarkable, an oval shape encased in a simple wooden frame, softened by the gentle touch of time. But as my fingertips traced the intricate patterns etched into its border, a subtle warmth emanated from its surface, akin to the delicate embrace of sunlight piercing through morning mist. The dimly lit storage room faded into insignificance, its shadows retreating to the periphery as the mirror's allure drew me deeper into its enigmatic depths. Initially, I dismissed the fleeting images that danced across the glass as mere figments of light, playing tricks on my perception. Outside, the rain painted a soothing melody on the roof, harmonizing with the rhythm of my breath, while dust motes pirouetted in the ethereal glow filtering through a solitary high window. Yet, amidst this tranquil symphony, a peculiar detail caught my eye. My reflection adorned a cerulean sweater foreign to my wardrobe, a hue I had never consciously chosen. With each return to the mirror, subtle alterations manifested in the mirrored image. Sometimes my hair appeared slightly longer, or shadows lurked beneath my eyes, deeper and more pronounced. The reflections undulated like water disturbed by a gentle breeze, revealing tantalizing glimpses of unfamiliar rooms and uncharted weather patterns. Beneath my feet, the weathered floorboards creaked in a symphony of whispers as I devoted hours to deciphering the cryptic messages woven into the mirror's reflection. I bore witness to scenes unfolding within its depths, scenes where I navigated literary worlds unbeknownst to me, engaged in conversations with strangers whose faces eluded recognition, and wandered through gardens existing solely within the mirror's enigmatic confines. The faint echoes of turning pages and distant dialogues reverberated in the silence of the room, punctuated only by the persistent patter of rain outside. What captivated me most was the mirror's responsiveness to my emotions. When greeted with curiosity, the visions flowed forth like watercolors bleeding into parchment, but shrouded in fear or doubt, the surface dulled, reverting to an ordinary reflection of mundane reality. I embarked on a journey of chronicling my observations, transcribing the subtle metamorphoses of my mirrored self, and documenting the clandestine vignettes unfurling before me. The scratch of my pen against parchment became a meditative incantation, accompanied by the rhythmic ticking of a forgotten clock nestled in the recesses of the storage room. Pages burgeoned with depictions of moments both alien and intimate. A steaming cup of coffee savored in an unfamiliar cafe, the sun's descent observed through an unrecognizable window, clandestine dialogues held in hushed tones with faces obscured by a veil of ambiguity. Occasionally, the mirror reflected familiar attire and familiar settings, yet everything bore a subtle distortion, as if reality had been refracted through a prism of cosmic intrigue. The quality of light in these visions diverged from the mundane, softer, more ethereal, akin to the perpetual golden hour preceding a twilight that never descended. With the passage of weeks, discernible patterns emerged amidst the labyrinthine tapestry of visions. Certain scenes recurred with heightened clarity, their contours sharpening with each iteration. I discerned minute details that would later materialize in the fabric of my daily existence. A peculiar dance of wind through ancient trees, the intricate choreography of raindrops upon window panes, the precise hue of the sky heralding an impending storm. Yet for every lucid vision, scores remained shrouded in enigma. Shadows lurked at the peripheries of my perception, and at times, cryptic inscriptions in unknown tongues floated beneath the mirror's ephemeral surface. The ether surrounding the mirror grew pregnant with myriad possibilities, laden with the weight of innumerable destinies swirling beneath its glassy veneer. The most disconcerting moments transpired when discrepancies surfaced in my reflection, scars that defied memory, smiles incongruent with my own, eyes harboring secrets beyond my ken. These anomalies, subtle yet haunting, lingered in the recesses of my consciousness, inviting speculation and contemplation. I guarded my clandestine discovery zealously, shielding it from prying eyes, for how could I articulate the mirror's sentient pulse, or convey the cryptic premonitions it unveiled? Thus, in solitude, I maintained my silent vigil, bearing witness to the intricate dance of reality and potential converging within the mirror's unfathomable depths. As the tapestry of summer began to fray, yielding to the somber hues of autumn, I discerned a gradual recession in the clarity of visions, akin to distant stars fading at the break of dawn. The mirror's touch grew colder, its revelations cloaked in a veil of obscurity, as if retreating behind a gossamer shroud of frost. Perhaps it signaled the waning of its power, or perchance I had gleaned all it deigned to impart. And now, as I linger within the storied confines of the chamber one final time, I observe my reflection reverting to its semblance of normalcy, or what my perception deems normal. The rain persists in its melancholic serenade outside, and dust performs its ethereal ballet in the ambient light, yet the mirror merely mirrors the mundane. Yet, in fleeting moments, when sunlight caresses its surface just so, a flicker of something beyond materializes, a whisper of untold secrets, a reminder that the linear shackles of time are but illusory, and that reality unfolds mysteries far beyond our reckoning. The mirror remains ensconced in silent vigil, a sentinel of the unseen, awaiting a new beholder to unravel its enigmatic tapestry. Or perchance, its mystic allure has waned like morning mist dissipating under the sun's caress. The truth remains veiled, obscured by the enigma of the mirror's cryptic whispers, yet I have learned to regard reflections with newfound discernment, cognizant that within the interstice of what is and what may be lies the elusive essence of tomorrow. Story 6. In the hushed stillness of an abandoned wing within the ancient confines of a grand mansion, a discovery awaited me. A rusted key, its intricate design hinting at untold secrets of a time long past, lay forgotten on a table veiled in cobwebs. The air, cool and musty, carried whispers of lost voices, urging me to unravel the mystery this key held. As the dim afternoon light filtered through the dusty windows, casting elongated shadows upon the worn floorboards that murmured beneath my cautious steps, a sense of tranquility enveloped me. Each creak of the floor harmonized with the gentle patter of rain commencing outside, creating a melody that seemed to lull me into a state of peaceful exploration. Cradling the key in my hand, I marveled at its weight and the intricate patterns etched into its surface by the hands of a skilled artisan long ago. The hues of copper and green, painted by time's brush, only enhanced the beauty of the key's flowing curves and delicate flourishes, resembling intricate flowering vines. Tracing the patterns with my fingertip, I observed how they mirrored the faded wallpaper adorning the walls around me. Beneath the layers of dust and age, elegant motifs emerged, aligning perfectly with the design of the key. Running my fingers over the textured wallpaper, I sensed a hidden rhythm, a pattern waiting to be deciphered. A gentle breeze swept through the corridor, carrying scents of aged books, polished wood, and a lingering sweetness that lingered in the air, like a distant memory preserved in time. Moving deeper into the wing, the darkness embraced me, while the rain outside intensified, its rhythmic cadence a soothing backdrop to my journey. The key, now warm in my palm, seemed to awaken as I navigated the ancient halls, where subtle shifts in temperature and atmosphere hinted at the mansion's silent breath. And then, a peculiar section of wall beckoned me closer, its wallpaper flowing in a unique direction, drawing my gaze to a concealed spot. Upon pressing a hidden depression, a panel swung open, revealing a keyhole that matched the intricate design of the key I held. With a steady hand, I inserted the key, feeling a sense of purpose as it turned smoothly, unlocking a passage to a chamber frozen in time. Sunlight filtered through a dust-covered skylight, casting a soft glow over the room filled with draped furniture and mysterious objects adorned with the same vine-like motif as the key. Clockwork devices, music boxes, and enigmatic instruments lined the shelves, their secrets veiled in the chamber's serene atmosphere. As I stood in awe of this hidden sanctuary, the gentle rain outside providing a tranquil backdrop, I realized I had entered a realm where time moved differently, where the air held a reverence akin to a sacred space untouched by the hands of fate. The room whispered of stories untold, of mysteries waiting to be unraveled, yet some secrets are meant to remain shrouded in the ethereal embrace of the unknown. And as I reflect on that enigmatic chamber, its existence straddling the realms of reality and imagination, I am reminded that some mysteries are best left undisturbed, cherished in the gentle caress of mystery, embodied by the weight of the key still nestled in my pocket, a silent guardian of secrets lost to time. Story 7. On a silent night at a deserted fairground, I found myself drawn to an ancient carousel, its once vibrant horses frozen in a timeless embrace. A soft hum resonated from the motionless ride, beckoning me to step into its world of forgotten enchantment. The air carried a wistful blend of sawdust and faded sweets, an ethereal call from days gone by. The night enveloped me like a velvet cloak as I approached the carousel, my footsteps hushed by the damp grass below. Moonbeams filtered through wispy clouds, casting delicate shadows that danced upon the weathered poles and tarnished wooden figures. Each horse bore the solemn gaze of a guardian, safeguarding ancient mysteries within, their painted eyes holding the tales of countless riders who once reveled in their splendor. One horse, in particular, caught my eye, a ghostly mare with traces of gilded paint lingering in its mane. Unlike the rest, its head was turned ever so slightly, as if acknowledging my presence for the first time. The brass pole that anchored it gleamed with an inexplicable warmth, defying the chill of the autumn night. Standing before it, a faint melody, like a distant music box in a dream, whispered in the air. Almost of its own accord, my hand extended to touch the mare's weathered surface. The wood beneath my fingers radiated warmth, a sensation akin to a heartbeat. A gentle vibration coursed through me, spreading a tranquil warmth throughout my being. The world around me began to shift, not abruptly, but with the gradual transition of twilight into dusk. The scent of cotton candy and caramel apples thickened the air, though the fairground lay empty and still. In the distance, a faint whisper of calliope music teased my ears, so subtle it could have been a figment of my imagination. Connected to the carousel horse, memories not my own rose to the surface like soft ripples in a placid pond. I glimpsed children from different eras, their faces radiant with joy as they rode these very horses. I felt the essence of countless summer nights, the touch of myriad small hands gripping the reins in delight. Yet beneath these joyful recollections, a deeper memory pulsed, resonating beneath the surface. The carousel was more than a mere ride. It was a collector of moments, a guardian of time itself. Each revolution had gathered more than just laughter. It had absorbed dreams, wishes, and silent prayers whispered beneath the summer stars. The pale mare seemed to be sharing its secrets with me, unveiling them one gentle pulse at a time. I learned that some riders returned as adults, bringing their own children to experience the carousel's magic. Others came alone in their later years, seeking to reclaim a fragment of pure joy from their youth. The carousel remembered them all, embracing them within its wooden heart. As these visions flowed through me, subtle changes unfolded in my surroundings. The peeling paint on the carousel shifted and swirled, revealing hints of its former glory. The tarnished poles radiated a soft glow, and the air grew dense with the weight of accumulated time. I realized that I was not merely witnessing memories. I was being invited to become a part of them. The carousel extended an invitation to weave my own story into its ancient tapestry. Time seemed to ebb and flow differently now. The moonlight took on an opalescent hue, and the boundary between past and present blurred like tissue paper in a gentle rain. A shiver of wonder coursed through me as I made a startling discovery. In the mirror at the carousel's center, I saw not just my reflection, but echoes of others who had stood in this very spot. Their forms were translucent, like watercolor paintings left to fade in sunlight, yet their expressions were vivid, tranquil, curious, ensnared in the same enchantment that held me captive. I comprehended the carousel's offering. It collected not only memories but moments of profound stillness, connections bridging past and present. Each soul touched by this magic became a part of its eternal dance. As the night deepened, I made my decision. I mounted the pale mare, settling into the saddle that had cradled so many before me. No music played, no gears turned, yet I sensed the subtle shift of time revolving around me, a gentle carousel of stars. In that perfect moment of serenity, I became a fragment of something grander than myself. A narrative without a clear beginning or end, only the eternal circle of the carousel's dance through the ages. The night embraced me as I sat there, adding my quiet chapter to the carousel's treasury of memories. To this day I ponder if others sense it too, the subtle beckoning as they pass by old carousels by night. Perhaps they too catch whispers carried on the breeze of time, tales of souls who paused here, captivated by the enchantment of wooden steeds and their timeless waltz with memory. Story 8. Late one night, as I sat watching an old rerun on a dusty television set, a peculiar event unfolded. The screen flickered unexpectedly, drawing my attention away from the familiar show. Amidst the usual static, faint shapes began to materialize, forming cryptic patterns that seemed to carry hidden messages meant solely for me. The room was enveloped in the scent of popcorn, mingling with distant memories, creating an atmosphere thick with nostalgia and intrigue. The air pulsed with the enigma of a secret transmission, as if the universe itself was trying to convey a message to me in that quiet moment. Sinking into the depths of my grandfather's worn leather armchair, I allowed myself to be consumed by the soft hum of the television, a constant companion in my nightly routine. The clock on the wall ticked away the hours with a comforting rhythm, as if reassuring me of the passage of time. Initially, the subtle shift went unnoticed. The static between channels had always possessed a hypnotic allure, akin to watching snowflakes drift down in the darkness of night. However, on this particular night, a change was palpable. Within the dancing grains of black and white static, I discerned intricate geometric patterns taking shape. They moved with a deliberate grace, forming and reforming in a mesmerizing dance that held me captive. The room's temperature seemed to drop imperceptibly, a chill creeping in despite the closed windows. My grandmother's lace curtains stirred gently, swaying in an unseen breeze that carried a faint metallic tang, reminiscent of summer rain on warm pavement. As I sat transfixed, the patterns on the screen began to pulse in a rhythmic manner. Like a heartbeat muffled by layers of fabric, the sequence unfolded before me. 3 short pulses, followed by 2 long ones, then a pause. The pattern repeated itself, each iteration clearer than the last. The soft glow of the television cast eerie shadows that danced on the walls, casting an otherworldly glow over the room. The antique brass lamp in the corner seemed to dim, as if in harmony with the increasingly mesmerizing display unfolding before me. Leaning forward, I tentatively reached out to touch the screen, the static radiating an unusual warmth that felt oddly comforting, like sunlight on a winter's day. The rhythmic patterns continued their dance, accompanied by a whispered melody woven into the white noise, just beyond my grasp of understanding. Time lost its meaning as I sat there, the ticking of the clock fading into the background, replaced by the symphony of static and almost music. The patterns on the screen evoked a sense of familiarity, akin to a half-remembered dream struggling to resurface. Though tempted to change the channel, a voice within urged me to remain still, to allow the enigmatic broadcast to unfold its silent narrative. The metallic scent mingled with the sweet aroma of popcorn and the musty leather of the armchair, evoking memories of summer storms and late-night drives with radio stations caught between frequencies. The patterns on the screen seemed to respond to my thoughts, shifting and flowing like ink in water, each transformation hinting at a hidden meaning that dissolved back into the static. As the night deepened, the message, whether real or imagined, grew both clearer and more mysterious. The geometric shapes hinted at letters or symbols from an unknown alphabet, fleeting glimpses of significance before melting back into the static. Shadows enveloped the room, cradling me in an intimate space where only the glow of the television and its cryptic message existed. The curtains continued their ethereal dance, swayed by whispers carried by an unseen force just beyond my comprehension. The barrier between observer and observed blurred, and I felt as though I was both the audience and the spectacle. The patterns pulsed on, their rhythm synchronizing with my own heartbeat, merging into a singular entity where the message transcended mere words. With the approach of dawn, the patterns began to fade, gradually dissipating into the ordinary static, leaving behind a sense of profound transformation. The room returned to its normal state, yet an underlying shift had occurred. The television screen now displayed only the familiar white noise, but I knew that my perception had forever changed. I remained seated until the first rays of sunlight filtered through the lace curtains, casting delicate shadows reminiscent of the night's enigmatic patterns. The metallic scent of rain had dissipated, replaced by the fresh brightness of morning. Yet the memory of that mysterious broadcast lingered, an indelible imprint on my consciousness, like the remnants of a dream. Even now, I find myself drawn to the static between channels, seeking those elusive patterns that once captivated me. Though they have yet to return in the same form, I am certain that hidden messages await, poised to emerge from the noise at the opportune moment, whispering secrets from realms just beyond our grasp. The television remains a silent sentinel in my living room, a silent witness to that unforgettable night. Occasionally, when the conditions are just so, and the house is enveloped in silence, I catch a fleeting glimpse of those geometric shapes on its dark screen, a fleeting reminder of the mysterious encounter, a whisper of the almost music that once filled the room. It serves as a reminder that amidst the known frequencies, in the spaces between signals, there exist messages waiting to be deciphered. The night had offered a glimpse into a realm where the ordinary transcends into the extraordinary, leaving me forever changed by the mysteries that linger just beyond our perception. Story 9. As I sifted through the trove of family treasures nestled in the attic's embrace, a glint of curiosity tugged at my senses. Among the forgotten relics and dusty memories, my gaze fell upon an enigmatic portrait concealed behind a weathered staircase. The figure within the painting, veiled in a cloak of mystery, seemed to lock eyes with mine, as if ensnaring a secret from a bygone era. The air hung cool and musty, carrying whispers of ancient varnish that danced along my skin, sending a shiver down my spine. What tale lay shrouded behind that veiled countenance, I mused as I gingerly lifted the canvas from its slumber. A hushed creak echoed through the wooden floorboards beneath my feet, as if the house itself stirred from a long-forgotten dream. Soft light filtered through a time-worn window, casting elongated shadows that waltzed across the portrait's surface. The figure, draped in garb reminiscent of a bygone Victorian epoch, donned a high-collared dress adorned with delicate lace, its hues muted and aged into a spectral beauty. Yet the more I delved into the painting's depths, the more peculiarities unfurled before my eyes. The subject's hands, contorted in an unfamiliar pose, clutched a hidden object obscured by layers of neglect. The backdrop of the portrait, ever in flux, oscillated between a formal parlor and a lush garden, playing tricks with the shifting light. But it was the eyes, a luminous amber hue set against the somber palette, that held me captive in their gaze. That fateful evening, driven by an inexplicable urge, I resolved to cleanse the portrait of its temporal shroud. With a gentle stroke of a brush, I coaxed decades of dust from the canvas, feeling a subtle shift in the air around me. The temperature dipped imperceptibly, and the aged chair beneath me crooned a haunting melody, though I remained motionless in my task. Amidst the rhythmic ticking of the grandfather clock below, a revelation unfurled before my eyes. A faint script, long concealed beneath grime, emerged in the background of the portrait, its ornate tendrils a cryptic web of lost words. Tracing the intricate patterns with trembling fingers, I sought to unravel the enigma woven within the very fabric of the painting. In the days that followed, a bewitching pull drew me back to the portrait's side, time and again. Entranced, I would sit for hours on end, witnessing as the shifting light breathed life into the static figure. At sunset, the amber eyes blazed with an inner fire, while the backdrop swelled with an infinite depth, beckoning me into its ethereal realm. With the break of dawn, a subtle melancholy softened the figure's visage, casting a spell of nostalgia upon the room. Yet, strange occurrences began to unfurl within the confines of my home. Objects shifted inexplicably, whispers of bygone roses wafted through empty rooms, and forgotten photographs arranged themselves in cryptic displays. On a somber night, raindrops tapping at the window like a melancholic melody, I turned my attention to the canvas's verso. A delicate envelope fluttered to the ground, cradling a letter penned in faded ink upon aged parchment. The elegant script mirrored the hidden text within the portrait, divulging a family secret cloaked in riddles and allusions to the passage of time. Weeks melded into months as I deciphered the cryptic clues hidden within the painting's depths. Shadows cast by the shifting light aligned with cryptic symbols, while the figure's cryptic gestures pointed towards hidden corners of my abode. The backdrop's metamorphosis mirrored the lunar dance, unveiling a tapestry of secrets woven through time. Though the elusive treasures hinted in the letter remained beyond my grasp, a profound realization took root in my soul. The figure in the portrait ceased to be a mere enigma, evolving into a spectral companion, bearing witness to the ebb and flow of time within these ancient walls. In moments of solitude, as the house lay shrouded in silence, save for the grandfather clock's steady cadence, whispers of a bygone era lingered in the air. The rustle of a Victorian gown brushing against unseen corridors, the faint strains of a music box serenading the night, echoes of a past intertwined with the present. The portrait, its amber gaze unwavering, harbored secrets untold, veiled in the delicate dance between reality and reverie. And in that liminal space where mystery and imagination converge, I found solace in the knowledge that some enigmas are best left to waltz in the twilight realm of the unknown. Story 10. In the depths of the attic, amidst the forgotten relics of time, a hidden canvas emerged from the shadows. Tucked behind an old trunk, it beckoned me with its unfinished tale, a figure caught in the midst of transformation, a dance of light and shadow that stirred a sense of déjà vu. The air was heavy with the scent of aged paper and memories long past, a symphony of whispers from decades gone by. As I gazed upon the delicate brushstrokes, a feeling of familiarity washed over me, as if the portrait held secrets of a life I had never lived. I settled into a weathered wooden chair, the only witness to the dust motes pirouetting in the soft light filtering through the attic window. The painting seemed to come alive in the gentle glow, its edges blending into the raw canvas like watercolor dreams unfolding. The face on the canvas was a paradox, both vivid and elusive, with some features sharply defined while others faded into the unknown, as if the artist had been interrupted by an unseen force. The ancient house murmured its lullaby of creaks and sighs, a comforting backdrop to my silent reverie. My fingertips traced the aged wooden frame, feeling the stories etched into its grain, tales of bygone eras and silent echoes. There was a depth in the eyes of the portrait that drew me in, a depth that seemed to transcend the boundaries of the canvas, reaching out to touch my soul. With the approach of evening, the light in the attic shifted, casting a golden spell that painted long shadows on the floor. A hint of autumn crept in through a crack in the window, carrying with it a crispness that mingled with the mustiness of the past. In the growing twilight, I found myself drawn to speak to the portrait, to share my musings and memories with this silent confidante. And as darkness descended, a curious transformation unfolded before my eyes. The brushstrokes seemed to shift and sway, revealing different facets of the figure with each passing moment, a dance of possibilities in the fading light. Time lost its meaning in that attic realm, hours melting into minutes as I delved deeper into the enigma of the portrait. And there, hidden behind the canvas, I discovered a faint inscription. Remember, the light changes everything. The words, penned in a hand that seemed to waver between wakefulness and dreams, sparked a connection that transcended time. Bringing forth journals and photographs from the depths of the house, I surrounded the portrait with fragments of a forgotten past, seeking clues to unravel its mystery. But the secrets remained elusive, whispered only in the ancient language of the time-worn timbers that cradled me in their embrace. On sleepless nights, I would ascend the narrow stairs to sit with the portrait, bathed in the silvery glow of the moon. In those quiet hours, whispers of forgotten melodies drifted from the unfinished spaces of the canvas, weaving a tapestry of half-remembered dreams. With each passing night, the portrait revealed new facets of its enigmatic nature, mirroring my innermost thoughts and emotions in its unfinished visage. The eyes, like windows to the soul, reflected the shifting tides of my being, a silent dialogue between observer and observed. As the seasons painted their colors on the world outside, a realization dawned upon me. The portrait's incompleteness was not a flaw but a deliberate choice. It existed in a perpetual state of becoming, a canvas for infinite interpretations, a reflection of the ever-changing nature of existence. I did not seek to unravel the mystery that shrouded the portrait. Instead, I embraced my role as its guardian, a keeper of the delicate balance between revelation and obscurity. The attic became a sanctuary where time flowed like water, where the boundaries of reality blurred into a dreamscape of endless possibilities. Years drifted by like leaves in the wind, but still, I ascend the stairs to commune with the portrait, to bask in its timeless presence. Sometimes I bring a notebook to capture the ever-shifting play of light on the canvas, the dance of shadows that breathe life into the unfinished strokes. But mostly, I sit in silent companionship with this enigmatic creation, a silent witness to the passage of time and the mysteries it holds. In its incompleteness, the portrait finds its perfection, an ever-evolving masterpiece that reflects not just the viewer, but the essence of existence itself. The mystery remains unsolved, a riddle without an answer, a journey without an end. And so, in the quiet solitude of the attic, I find solace in the gentle embrace of the dust-filled light, in the endless possibilities that linger within the unfinished edges of the portrait. Story 11. On a midnight journey back home, the sparsely populated subway car felt unusually heavy. A lone figure occupied the far corner, silently observing me as the train rumbled through dim tunnels. The air hung thick with the mingling sense of sweat and stagnant air, and an unsettling sensation of being under scrutiny descended upon me. The gentle swaying of the car and the rhythmic clack of wheels against tracks typically would have lulled me to sleep, but this night was different. My focus kept returning to the stranger, whose mere presence seemed to warp the very essence of reality around them. The flickering fluorescent lights above cast eerie shadows that danced along the scratched metal walls. I couldn't shake the feeling of peculiarity about my fellow traveler. Their silhouette appeared slightly distorted, as if seen through a rain-splattered window. Each time I blinked or shifted my gaze, their outline would briefly sharpen before blurring once more. It was a subtle effect, one that I might have dismissed as mere tiredness, if not for what unfolded next. The stranger lifted a hand in what seemed like a greeting, leaving trailing wisps in the air, akin to how sparklers paint the night sky with light trails. Each movement created ripples in the space around them, warping the advertisements on the walls behind. The temperature in the car seemed to plummet, and a shiver ran down my spine. Time itself felt elastic, expanding and contracting with each breath. The intervals between stations stretched, the darkness beyond the windows grew deeper and more profound. The usual ambient sounds of the subway, the rush of air, the mechanical creaks, the distant echoes, all faded into a soft, enveloping silence, leaving only the rhythmic beat of wheels on tracks. I found myself fixated on their attire, a blend of contemporary and vintage styles. A coat that seemed timeless, shoes that shifted in style when not directly observed. Their face remained obscured by shadows despite the overhead light, as if darkness gravitated towards them. The stranger began to hum, the melody not heard but felt in my chest, evoking memories of childhood lullabies and forgotten reveries. My eyelids grew heavy, yet I resisted, teetering between comfort and disquiet. Subtle alterations began to manifest in the subway car. Advertisements displayed different images when glanced at sideways. Metal poles appeared to bend at impossible angles before snapping back to normal upon focus. The windows mirrored scenes of gardens, libraries, and distant stars. The stranger rose gracefully, moving as fluidly as water in weightlessness. Advancing towards me, I noticed their feet barely touched the floor. The air around them shimmered with an opalescent sheen, akin to heat waves rising from sun-baked pavement. Their presence exuded an aura of ancient wisdom and infinite patience. Seating themselves across from me, I briefly glimpsed their face, kind and aged, familiar yet impossible to fully grasp. When they spoke, their voice was a whisper, carried by the wind through autumn leaves. "You perceive beyond most," they conveyed, though their lips remained still. Rare is it to encounter one awake in this hour of reality. I yearned to reply, to pose the myriad questions swirling in my mind, but a profound tranquility enveloped me. The train's gentle sway became a cradle. The darkness beyond the windows transformed into a comforting embrace. The stranger's presence no longer felt ominous, but rather akin to reuniting with a long-lost friend whose name lingered just beyond memory's reach. Upon reopening my eyes, I found myself alone in the subway car. The fluorescent lights buzzed with their usual starkness, the advertisements displaying mundane products and services. The air returned to its customary temperature, and the subway's familiar sounds resumed their melodic background. Yet something had shifted. In the window's reflection, a subtle iridescence clung to my attire, like dewdrops on a spider's web. And nestled in my pocket, I discovered a ticket stub I didn't recall obtaining, emblazoned with characters from an unfamiliar alphabet that I somehow comprehended effortlessly. Now, whenever I journey through the late-night subway, I observe my fellow passengers attentively. Occasionally, when the light strikes just so, I glimpse blurred outlines and lingering wisps. And every so often, a distant hum resonates not in my ears, but deep within my bones. A reminder that reality is more fluid than we conceive, especially within those transitional realms between here and there, between wakefulness and slumber. Story 12. As I sifted through the dusty boxes in the attic of our old family home, a sense of nostalgia washed over me. Amongst the forgotten treasures, I stumbled upon a bundle of faded letters tied with a brittle ribbon. Each page bore mysterious symbols and hints of a hidden past, whispering tales long forgotten. The air was heavy with the scent of aged paper and distant memories, enveloping me in a cocoon of timelessness. With gentle curiosity, I untied the ribbon and unfurled the first letter, its date nearly a century old, penned in elegant script that seemed to flow like a river of ink. Intricate symbols danced between the lines, delicate spirals and geometric patterns that shimmered in the dim light of the attic. Running my fingers over the mysterious markings, I felt a faint warmth emanating from the pages, as if they held a secret longing to be revealed. As I delved deeper into the letters, a subtle pattern emerged. They spoke of the changing seasons, the phases of the moon, and dreams that blurred the boundaries between reality and fantasy. The enigmatic writer, known only as E, described midnight gardens in full bloom and ethereal melodies floating through the air without a source. The wind whispered secrets through the rafters, and the old house groaned in agreement, as if acknowledging the hidden truths within the letters. In a trance-like state, I read aloud the words of E, each syllable carrying a weight of mystery and magic. Some passages were written in mirrored text, their true meaning only revealed when reflected in the dusty attic window. With each letter, the world outside faded into obscurity, replaced by the fantastical realm painted by the aging pages. The sixth letter piqued my interest with its mention of a gentle ritual involving mirrors and the full moon. E spoke of reflections that transcended time and space, offering glimpses into parallel realities. A sense of wonder filled the attic as my grandmother's old rocking chair swayed ever so slightly, a silent witness to the unfolding mysteries. As the afternoon sun cast a golden hue over the attic, I realized hours had slipped by unnoticed, lost in the labyrinth of E's letters. The final missive held a sense of urgency, a revelation about time and memory that sent shivers down my spine. With each word, the dust in the air danced in intricate formations, mirroring the symbols on the pages before dispersing into oblivion. Retying the ribbon around the bundle of letters, I knew their essence had seeped into my very being, altering my perception of reality. The world appeared richer, more profound, with layers of existence waiting to be unraveled. The enigma of E and their cryptic messages lingered, a silent companion in my journey of discovery. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting elongated shadows across the attic, I noticed a peculiar phenomenon. My shadow on the wall moved independently, as if pondering a different path. A knowing smile tugged at my lips, understanding that some mysteries were not meant to be deciphered, but rather embraced in their enigmatic beauty. On tranquil afternoons, When the rain whispered its lullaby on the roof, I returned to the attic. Sometimes I revisited the letters, immersing myself in their timeless tales, while other times I simply sat in my grandmother's rocking chair, embracing the symphony of dust motes and the murmurs of the ancient house. The mystery of E remained unsolved, a riddle woven into the fabric of my existence, a reminder that the world held boundless wonders for those willing to seek them. And so, I embraced the unknown, finding solace in the enigma that had become a part of me, a fragment of a forgotten past echoing through time. Story 13. On a cool moonlit night, an unassuming package materialized on my doorstep, shrouded in mystery with no sender to be found. Inside rested a solitary, meticulously folded letter, inscribed in a graceful, unfamiliar script. The delicate scent of cedar mingled with the rich aroma of ink, enveloping the room in a tranquil embrace as I perused its enigmatic contents, a message that hinted at unraveling the veiled secrets concealed within the depths of my past. Nestling into the welcoming embrace of my cherished reading chair, its time-worn leather whispering softly beneath me, I succumbed to the serene melody of raindrops tapping against the window panes, creating a lulling cadence that stirred a sense of tranquility within me. By the gentle glow of my desk lamp casting an amber hue across the room, shadows danced with a life of their own, swaying to an unseen rhythm. The letter unfolded before me, its words a delicate dance upon the parchment, beginning with a revelation that stole my breath away. I know about the music box. Long believed lost to the sands of time, my grandmother's antique music box held a special place in my memories, its exquisite craftsmanship and haunting melody forever etched in my mind. The letter painted a vivid portrait of the music box, its intricate rose carvings adorning the mahogany exterior, a faint chip in the corner from a childhood mishap, and the peculiar way the lid would sometimes stick when opened. As I delved deeper into the missive, my fingertips traced the elegant script, each word resonating with a familiarity that sent shivers down my spine. The writer delved into memories known only to me, the hidden nook behind a loose brick in the garden wall of my childhood home, the recurring dream of a door that remained sealed shut, the assortment of enigmatic keys I had unknowingly amassed over the years. The steady tick-tock of the grandfather clock provided a steady undercurrent to my racing thoughts, unveiling layer upon layer of mystery, weaving a tapestry of interconnected moments that had long evaded my scrutiny. The writer hinted at a grand design, a purpose behind the seemingly random occurrences that had punctuated my life. A glance towards the brass hook where my keys hung revealed a new pattern, a subtle arrangement that beckoned me closer, each key whispering a tale of its own. The weathered skeleton key from the antique shop, the ornate brass key unearthed in the garden, the dainty silver key that materialized in my coat pocket one wintry morning. The letter spoke of a hidden symmetry, a concealed sequence threading through the tapestry of my existence, the numerical enigmas overlooked, the uncanny synchronicities steering my course, the dreams that transcended mere imagination. The writer posited that my grandmother's music box held the key to unlocking these enigmatic connections, illuminating the shadows that had long cloaked my path. My feline companion, Shadow, observed me from her perch by the window, her golden eyes reflecting the soft lamplight like gleaming treasure. Outside, the rain whispered its melodic symphony, cocooning me in a tranquil solitude as I plunged deeper into the labyrinthine tale unfurling before me. The writer's narrative wove a tapestry of intricacies, each thread leading inexorably to this juncture, prompting me to reach for my journal, its pages a mosaic of fragmented musings on dreams and inexplicable events. The letter offered a framework, a lens through which to view the disjointed pieces of my life, hinting at a community of kindred spirits who shared in the cryptic dance of fate, each holding a fragment of a grander puzzle. As the night deepened, The lamp's glow softened, casting a dreamlike haze over my study, suffusing the air with a sense of otherworldly calm. The letter's closing words presented a choice between the comfort of ignorance and the allure of the enigma that had always surrounded me. Assurances of enlightenment mingled with the warning that once the veil was lifted, there would be no return to blissful ignorance. Sinking back into my chair, I allowed the weight of revelation to envelop me like a warm embrace. The letter concluded with a simple directive: when you are ready to delve deeper, awaken your grandmother's melody at the stroke of midnight. Yet, the haunting melody of the music box had long faded into the recesses of memory, its physical form lost to time. Or had it? The writer's intimate knowledge of my past hinted at a different truth. My gaze drifted towards the ancient trunk nestled in the corner, an heirloom passed down through generations, its contents a mystery I had yet to unravel, despite countless attempts with my array of keys. In the tender embrace of the night, the trunk beckoned to me with renewed purpose, whispering of secrets long kept and revelations awaiting their moment of discovery. Perhaps the answers I sought resided closer than I had dared to imagine, biding their time for the opportune instant to reveal themselves. The rain's serenade began to ebb, leaving in its wake a profound stillness, punctuated solely by the rhythmic pulse of shadows breathing and the measured ticking of the grandfather clock. Reverently, I folded the letter and nestled it within the confines of my journal, cognizant that my path had taken an imperceptible yet profound turn. Whatever enigma lay ahead, I resolved to approach it with patience and an insatiable curiosity, allowing the truth to unfurl at its own languid pace. As I readied myself for slumber, the words of the letter lingered in my consciousness, melding with the fading echoes of my grandmother's music box melody. An unspoken intuition whispered that the dreams awaiting me that night would bear newfound significance, heralding the commencement of an extraordinary odyssey into the uncharted recesses of my own narrative. Story 14. In the midst of sorting through forgotten treasures tucked away in a neglected corner of my home, my fingers stumbled upon a locked drawer nestled within an ancient desk. With a touch of determination, the drawer yielded to my efforts, revealing a carefully folded note resting inside. The paper, weathered and tinged with the passage of time, bore the graceful strokes of elegant handwriting, hinting at a concealed truth about the house's enigmatic past. A delicate aroma of cedar and musty ink wafted from the note, beckoning me to delve into its hidden depths. As I gingerly unfurled the fragile paper, a soft whisper of aged parchment filled the tranquil room. The evening sun filtered through wispy lace curtains, casting ethereal shadows that pirouetted across the desk's well-worn surface. An air of anticipation mingled with a soothing calmness, akin to the hushed moments preceding a gentle rainfall. The note commenced with a date etched in history, penned in a script that spoke of eras long gone. "My dearest friend," it began, drawing me into its intriguing narrative. Each word unfurled a tale of peculiar occurrences within these very walls, phantom footsteps echoing through empty corridors, objects shifting surreptitiously in solitude, and the mysterious appearance of fresh blooms in a particular vase under the full moon's watchful gaze. Captivated, I sank deeper into my chair, spellbound by the unfolding chronicle. The writer divulged the existence of a hidden chamber concealed within the house, veiled behind walls privy to countless secrets. Within this clandestine space lay not treasures of gold or gems, but a trove of memories suspended in time. The steady tick-tock of my grandfather clock provided a rhythmic cadence as I delved further, its pendulum swaying in a mesmerizing dance. Accounts within the note spoke of an ancient journal unearthed from the depths of the walls, chronicling the lives of the house's original denizens. Yet, these were no ordinary accounts. They whispered of dreams shared across generations, of conversations veiled in time's mysteries. As twilight enveloped the world beyond my windows, I ignited an antique brass lamp, casting a warm, golden glow upon the weathered pages. The note hinted at cryptic symbols etched discreetly on doorframes throughout the house, symbols I had often dismissed as mere adornments. However, the author illuminated their true purpose, weaving a narrative of a map concealed within these enigmatic markings, guiding the way to the hidden chamber. My fingertips traced the edges of the parchment, tracing the writer's quest to decipher these enigmatic symbols. They spoke of symbols waxing and waning with the phases of the moon, a celestial dance mirrored in the house's hidden language. The rustle of wind through ancient trees outside created a soothing symphony, casting dancing shadows upon my walls. The writer's conviction grew, painting the house as a living vessel of memories, a gentle custodian of bygone tales. Approaching the note's conclusion, the author unveiled a revelation. Dreams that transcended mere slumber, vivid visions of a woman draped in a sapphire gown, her silent smile pregnant with unspoken truths. These dreams held a key to unlocking the house's temporal mysteries, a bridge between past and present. The final passage bore a cryptic directive. When the midnight bells toll 13 times, and moonlight bathes the seventh step, the path shall unveil itself to those who listen with their hearts. Breathless, I absorbed these enigmatic words, attuned to every subtle sound within my abode, the gentle creaking of aged floorboards, the distant murmurs of wind, the imperceptible whispers of time's passage. The note concluded abruptly, unsigned, leaving a tapestry of queries in its wake. As I carefully folded the parchment, a hidden sketch caught my eye, a geometric pattern imbued with a sense of familiarity, though its origins eluded me. Glancing up from the desk, I noticed the room had dimmed, save for the soft radiance of the lamp. The house exuded a newfound aura, not of foreboding, but of a tender cognizance of the myriad tales enshrined within its time-worn walls. Each shadow, every creak, seemed laden with newfound significance. Returning the note to its resting place within the drawer, I refrained from securing the lock. An intuition whispered that this was merely the prologue to a grander enigma, one destined to unfold gradually, akin to the gentle unveiling of dawn. Enveloped by the deepening dusk, I pondered the possibility of communing with the woman in the sapphire gown, envisaging the secrets she might unveil in the stillness of night. The grandfather clock's steady heartbeat persisted, while a distant church bell tolled in a languid cadence. Counting the echoes absent-mindedly, my thoughts lingered on the enigma of the note. And as the final chime faded into the ether, a faint rustle, akin to silk caressing empty space, teased my senses, the phantom echo of a blue gown gliding through the silent room. Story 15. As I paused by a serene pond, I leaned in to study my reflection in the gentle ripples. But what I beheld stopped me in my tracks. A faint visage, barely discernible amidst the undulating water, not my own. The atmosphere carried a delicate mist and the nostalgic scent of algae, while the image seemed to murmur an ancient, forgotten tale veiled deep within the water. Entranced by the tranquil motion of the water, memories of my grandmother's tales about water spirits drifted through my thoughts. She always insisted that tranquil waters harbored secrets for those patient enough to hear. The soft rustle of leaves overhead wove a calming melody, complemented by the occasional splash of tiny fish breaking the surface. Since that initial encounter, I found myself drawn to the pond more and more. Each evening, as the sun began its gradual descent, casting elongated shadows over the water's surface, I would settle on the weathered wooden bench nearby. In this light, the water possessed an ethereal quality, not quite a mirror nor a window, but something in between. Occasionally, I caught glimpses of that enigmatic face, always on the cusp of clarity, like a forgotten word mid-sentence. Local lore abounded about the pond. Some claimed it was fed by underground springs connecting to ancient waterways. Others insisted it was bottomless. An elderly neighbor mentioned seeing lights beneath the surface on certain nights, though he spoke of it with a serene acceptance that left me pondering the veracity of his words. One misty evening, the water appeared different, utterly still, akin to glass, mirroring the deep purple sky above. Enveloped in the serene silence, I noticed a peculiar detail in my own reflection. It seemed to lag slightly behind my movements, as if observing me with keen interest. The previously glimpsed face emerged more distinctly now, feminine features with eyes holding centuries of wisdom. In that moment, a subtle tug in my mind arose, akin to the start of a silent dialogue. No words exchanged, yet impressions flowed into my thoughts. I witnessed fragments of the pond through time, seasons shifting over centuries, people coming and going, secrets shared and safeguarded. The face in the water had observed it all, safeguarding memories too precious or perilous for the world above. Moisture thickened the air, tiny droplets collecting on my skin. My attire gradually dampened, yet I remained motionless, captivated by the wordless exchange. The face divulged more. Ancient rites enacted at the water's edge, lovers pledging vows, children learning to swim, elders finding solace in their final hours. The pond transcended mere water. It was a custodian of narratives, a silent chronicler of human existence. As night fully descended, accompanied by a symphony of crickets and the occasional distant owl, I realized hours had slipped by. The face began to fade, leaving behind a final impression, a profound sense of gratitude for being truly seen, acknowledged after so long. The water rippled gently, as if stirred by an unseen breeze, returning to its customary state. Walking home that night, still cloaked in mist-dampened clothes, a subtle yet profound change had settled within me. The world appeared richer, layered with concealed significance and untold tales. I comprehended why my grandmother spoke of water spirits with reverence. They weren't meant to alarm, but to prompt us about the profound connections flowing beneath the surface of daily life. I frequent the pond still, though never encountering such a clear link with the face in the water again. Occasionally, when the light strikes just so, I glimpse those ancient eyes and sense a familiar gentle pull in my mind. The pond has morphed into my sanctuary, a realm where the boundary between past and present, memory and reality, thins delightfully. When asked why I spend countless hours by the water, particularly on mist-laden evenings, I simply smile and say I'm listening to old tales. For some mysteries are meant to be felt rather than understood, experienced rather than elucidated. Amidst the tranquil ripples of that age-old pond, I've discovered that the line between observer and observed blurs, creating a dance of reflection that transcends the ordinary confines of our world. The face in the water remains my silent confidant, a custodian of both personal and shared memories. In its presence, I've learned that the most profound mysteries often whisper their secrets to those who pause to listen, to watch, and to ponder. Story 16. On a quiet evening interrupted by a sudden downpour, I sought refuge beneath an awning to escape the rain's relentless assault. As the droplets drummed against the pavement, a delicate, urgent whisper rode the storm's winds, permeating the cool, moist air with the essence of fresh rain and distant thunder. This whispered promise hinted at enigmatic secrets the storm was eager to unveil. Entranced by the rhythmic symphony of raindrops on the canvas above, I heard the whisper once more, clearer this time, as if a soft voice spoke just behind my shoulder. Turning, I found nothing but empty space engulfed by the encroaching darkness of dusk. The street lamps flickered to life, casting gentle halos in the misty air, beckoning me to venture into a narrow alley nestled between weathered brick buildings. Ordinarily, I would have dismissed such a peculiar urge as mere folly, but this evening felt different. The whisper bore no malice, only a gentle insistence reminiscent of my grandmother's soothing bedtime tales. With cautious steps, I entered the alley, and the rain eased into a gentle mist. The warmth emanating from the brick walls, despite the evening's chill, hinted at a timeless embrace, as if they harbored the sun's essence within. My footfalls echoed softly in the shallow puddles, creating mesmerizing ripples that danced with the light filtering through from above. The alley widened into a secluded courtyard, shielded from prying eyes by the surrounding buildings. At its heart stood an ancient fountain, its weathered stone exuding a sense of enduring wisdom. Water cascaded from its spout, mingling with the rain in a melodic harmony. The whisper, now seemingly emanating from the fountain itself, grew in intensity as I drew nearer. Clusters of small blue flowers encircled the fountain's base, their petals radiating an ethereal glow that pulsed in synchrony with the falling water. These blooms, both ancient and freshly sprung, seemed to defy the constraints of time, existing in multiple moments simultaneously. Kneeling beside the fountain, compelled by a mysterious recognition, I traced my fingers over faint markings etched into the stone, their meaning eluding my comprehension. As my touch caressed the symbols, they shimmered and morphed like elusive reflections on water's surface. The whisper evolved into coherent words, weaving tales of memories, promises, and cyclical time akin to the fountain's eternal spirals. Visions danced in the fountain's pool, mirroring fragments of other lives, other eras, other souls who had stood in this very spot. Each ephemeral reflection dissolved like morning mist, leaving behind a fleeting imprint of the enigmatic past. The blue flowers continued their gentle pulsing, casting ethereal shadows that waltzed across the courtyard walls. Here time flowed languidly, akin to honey's unhurried descent from a spoon, devoid of urgency or fear. The whispers cradled me like a lullaby from a distant childhood, evoking a sense of half-remembered comfort. Enveloped by the rain's gentle embrace, I lingered by the fountain, ensnared in a realm where secrets whispered in the wind lingered as dreams in the deepest recesses of my mind. Upon rising to depart, I discovered a solitary blue flower resting in my palm, its glow subdued to match the natural world, yet retaining its intrinsic beauty. The whispers waned as I retraced my steps through the alley, yet their presence lingered like a fond embrace. Emerging onto the street, the rain had ceased, though the air remained pregnant with moisture, and life resumed its mundane cadence. Yet within me, a subtle shift had occurred, a mark left by the gentle mystery of that hidden sanctuary. On rainy evenings since, faint echoes of those whispers drift on the wind, a reminder of promises woven in raindrops and mysteries veiled just beyond our grasp, patiently awaiting discovery by those attuned to the storm's enigmatic whispers. And on my windowsill rests the blue flower, outwardly ordinary to all eyes, yet in the quiet of night it emanates a soft, pulsing light, a reminder of secrets whispered in the rain, of mysteries shrouded just beyond our everyday perception, waiting for those who listen attentively to the whispers in the storm. Story 17. Amid a leisurely stroll through an abandoned subway tunnel, a peculiar sight captured my attention, a soft, unearthly glow seeping out from the depths of the shadows. The air, stagnant and tinged with the scent of rust and moist concrete, beckoned silently, as if whispering ancient secrets hidden beneath the city's surface. Moving closer, the glow unveiled aged graffiti and worn tracks, hinting at a narrative waiting to be unraveled. In the background, a faint hum of distant machinery added a tranquil harmony as I ventured further into the tunnel. Each step I took echoed softly against the curved walls, blending into a rhythmic cadence with my breath. The air grew chillier with every stride, carrying hints of mineral springs and weathered stone, creating a serene atmosphere. The mysterious glow ahead remained steady, casting soft shadows that danced along the tunnel's worn facade. As I drew near, I noticed how the light pulsed ever so subtly, breathing in a hypnotic rhythm that drew me in like a gentle lullaby. Water droplets fell delicately, contributing to the tunnel's natural melody, reminiscent of wind chimes in a gentle breeze, harmonizing with my hushed footfalls. Faded maintenance signs, once vibrant, now transformed into abstract masterpieces under the strange light, igniting my imagination. The source of the glow remained elusive, always teasing just beyond the next turn, yet I felt no urgency to unveil its mystery, content to let it reveal itself in due time. The tunnel's curvature played tricks on acoustics, carrying whispers from distant places, conversations from bygone eras that seemed to linger in the underground expanse. Time lost its meaning as I delved deeper into this subterranean world. The temperature remained cool, the air gentle with currents that carried the essence of minerals and aged metal. My fingers trailed along the rough concrete walls, tracing the history etched in every groove, a story of the ages. Further along, the graffiti grew more intricate, showcasing symbols unknown to me, shifting and morphing with each glance, evoking a sense of beauty tinged with unease. The glow illuminated these designs, animating them in a mesmerizing display, as if they were trying to convey a message just beyond reach. Gradually, the tunnel widened into an ancient maintenance chamber, where the mysterious light gathered like liquid sunshine, casting ethereal shadows that danced and intertwined. Dust-covered equipment created elaborate silhouettes, each shadow a silent witness to the workers who once tread these forgotten paths. At the heart of the chamber stood an antiquated control panel, adorned with mineral deposits that shimmered in the enigmatic light. Some indicator lights blinked in a hypnotic rhythm, their soft glow resonating with the ambience of the room. Yet, what captivated me most was a weathered logbook, its pages yellowed with age, recounting encounters with the same mysterious light that now captivated me. Accounts varied, from feelings of tranquility in its presence to vivid dreams that lingered long after. The most recent entry, just a few months old, hinted that I wasn't the sole wanderer to stumble upon this forgotten sanctuary. The glow seemed to acknowledge my discovery of the logbook, pulsing gently as if welcoming me into its realm. Seated in an aged chair, cracked leather beneath me, I perused the entries with a sense of reverence. Each tale added a layer to the enigma, yet the true nature of the light remained elusive, a puzzle meant to be experienced rather than deciphered. As I sat enveloped in the soothing glow and the murmur of the tunnel, a profound connection to those who came before me washed over me. The light's dance continued, a silent serenade that spoke of mysteries beyond comprehension, inviting contemplation in solitude. The final pages of the logbook lay bare, awaiting new narratives. Though tempted to inscribe my own encounter, I opted for silence, honoring the mysteries that lay dormant for future explorers to unearth. Retracing my steps through the tunnel, the glow gradually waned behind me, yet its warmth lingered, a gentle caress on my memory. To this day, a magnetic pull draws me back to that tunnel, though I tread cautiously, never venturing as deep as before. The mysterious light endures, I am certain, perpetuating its eternal waltz in the shadows, awaiting the next intrepid seeker to bask in its tender radiance. In moments of quiet reflection, I find solace in the enigma I encountered, embracing the notion that some enigmas are best left unsolved, their allure a soothing melody for the soul's slumber. Story 18. On a serene evening, while leisurely strolling along the river's edge, a peculiar sight caught my eye. It wasn't the reflection of myself in the water, but rather a ghostly image that appeared to be observing me in silence. The soft babble of the river, intertwined with the earthy fragrance of damp soil and wildflowers, hinted at hidden secrets lurking beneath the water's surface. My evening walks by the river had always been a source of solace for me. The way the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in delicate shades of amber and lavender, the gentle rustle of the wind through the tall grass, and the plush moss underfoot, it felt like my sanctuary. Yet, on that particular evening, an unusual shift lingered in the air. Nature seemed to hold its breath, enveloping me in a strange stillness. As I gazed intently at the water, the mysterious reflection remained motionless, unaffected by the ripples disrupting the surface. It resembled a face, albeit not entirely human, more of an ethereal impression, with features that seemed to morph and sway when I tried to focus on them. However, the eyes remained unwavering, profound, all-knowing, and oddly familiar. The gravel softly crunched beneath my feet as I knelt closer to the water's edge. A cool mist rose from the river, carrying the sweet, damp aroma of water lilies and moss. In the distance, the hoot of an owl drifted through the evening air, harmonizing with the river's gentle flow. I found myself drawn back to that spot each evening, compelled by an inexplicable force that eluded my understanding. Every visit uncovered something new, a faint shimmer beneath the water's surface, a subtle melody emerging from the depths, barely audible over the river's constant song. The face in the water became a comforting presence, akin to an old confidant waiting to share untold secrets. With the passing weeks, subtle transformations unfolded in the surroundings. The wildflowers bloomed more vividly near my spot. Fireflies flickered in greater numbers, casting a soft green glow above the water like terrestrial stars. The atmosphere crackled with a gentle energy, caressing my skin with a pleasant tingling sensation. One exceptionally tranquil evening, as the moon cast its silvery sheen over the water, I witnessed something extraordinary. When I reached out to touch the surface, the water felt unexpectedly warm despite the cool night air. As my fingers broke the stillness, faint ripples of light spread outward, resembling liquid stardust. The face in the water smiled, not through its lips but through its eyes, radiating a warmth that seeped into my very being. It was then that I began to grasp the truth. The river wasn't merely reflecting images, it was offering glimpses of a realm existing between worlds. The face I beheld wasn't a specter or apparition, but a portal to a reality intertwined with our own, visible solely to those who dared to truly perceive. At times now, as I sit by the river in the encroaching twilight, I catch murmured echoes of ancient tales within the water's current. The face appears less frequently, yet its essence lingers in the fluid motion of the water, in the drifting leaves upon the surface, in the interplay of light and shadow. The river has transcended being a mere location. It has transformed into a custodian of enigmas, a preserver of secrets unveiled only to those patient enough to listen. Until now, this narrative has remained my private reverie. Some may dismiss it as a figment of imagination, a play of light and shadow on a weary mind. Perhaps they are correct. However, on tranquil evenings when the world hushes and the boundary between reality and reverie blurs, I return to the river, and occasionally, just occasionally, I glimpse those knowing eyes in the depths of the water, reminding me that profound mysteries are often felt rather than seen. The face in the river imparted a lesson, that certain queries require no answers, and some enigmas are best left unsolved. Now as I wander the riverbank, I carry this wisdom like a precious secret, comprehending that the divide between the mundane and the miraculous is as fluid as the water itself, forever in flux, yet eternally constant. Story 19. Strolling alone on the outskirts of a dense forest, a hushed howl barely audible caught me off guard, sending a shiver down my spine. The air was filled with the fresh fragrance of pine and moist earth, drawing me closer to the enigmatic depths beyond the fringes of light. Sunlight filtered through the foliage, painting a shifting tapestry of shadows on the forest floor as I ventured further. Each step I took was accompanied by the satisfying crunch of leaves underfoot, leading me deeper into the heart of the woods. The air grew dense with the scent of moss and decay, oddly invigorating in its raw earthiness. Intrigued by an inexplicable allure, I pressed on, my curiosity outweighing any hint of unease. As I delved deeper, the familiar sounds of the outside world slowly faded into a distant memory. The whispering breeze rustled the leaves with a melodic hush, creating a soothing symphony of nature's lullaby. Occasionally, fleeting movements caught my eye, only to vanish upon closer inspection, leaving me surrounded by swaying branches and elusive shadows. The howl returned, faint as a whisper, perhaps a figment of my imagination. Yet this time, it carried a haunting quality, a tune woven into the wind's gentle caress. The forest fell into a hushed silence, as if holding its breath. Birds ceased their melodies, and even the insects stilled their usual hum. In that profound stillness, a subtle energy pulsed through the air, sending a tingling sensation down my arms. A clearing emerged ahead, encircled by trees framing a tranquil pond. The water lay still as obsidian glass, mirroring the overcast sky without a ripple to disturb its serene reflection. Drawing closer, I noticed a peculiar delay in my mirrored image, as if struggling to keep pace with reality. The air grew colder, prompting me to tighten my jacket around me. Wisps of mist began to rise from the ground, coiling around my ankles like cool silk against my skin, emitting a soft, ethereal glow that pulsed in harmony with the forest's breath. Standing at the water's edge, I discerned elusive shapes moving within the mist, resembling ethereal deer, their fluid motions defying nature's constraints. The howl resurfaced, closer now, its ghostly timbre enveloping me in a tranquil trance. The boundary between the tangible world and the unknown blurred, as the trees leaned closer, their branches outstretched like inquisitive onlookers. Within their gnarled forms, ancient faces seemed to emerge, observing my every move with timeless wisdom. Time seemed to lose all meaning, the light unchanged, yet hinting at hours slipping by unnoticed. The mist thickened, enveloping the clearing in a swirling embrace of white. The haunting howl reverberated once more, revealing itself not as a cry, but as a melodic chant, echoing ancient secrets and mysteries long veiled within the forest's depths. Suspended between reality and reverie, a presence approached from behind, carrying the scent of wildflowers and frost. Every instinct urged me to turn, yet my body remained rooted in place, a blend of fear and reverence holding me still. As the presence drew nearer, a profound serenity washed over me, the forest sighing with whispers of forgotten tongues. In that fleeting moment, I understood I had stumbled upon a rare portal where the known and unknown intertwined. Without turning, I closed my eyes and surrendered to the forest's song, feeling the weight of something extraordinary, a glimpse into a world beyond comprehension. When I opened my eyes once more, the mist had dissipated, leaving the clearing ordinary once more. But as I retraced my steps through the woods, I carried with me the certainty of a transformative encounter, a reminder of the hidden wonders awaiting those willing to heed the forest's silent call. Even now, on tranquil nights when the wind weaves through the trees, I catch echoes of that distant, silent howl. It beckons to me like a half-remembered dream, a gentle reminder that mysteries and marvels linger in the shadows, patiently awaiting those who dare to listen to their timeless melody. Story 20. In a forgotten corner of an abandoned library, I stumbled upon a hidden alcove shrouded in a gentle mist, where relics and faded photographs lay in silent repose. The air was heavy with the scent of aged paper and cedar, creating a hushed sanctuary of forgotten tales. Amidst the relics, a partially veiled portrait beckoned to me. Its subject a woman cloaked in Victorian elegance, her features weathered by the passage of time, yet her eyes holding a timeless clarity that seemed to pierce through the veil of years. As I ventured deeper into the alcove, the floorboards whispered beneath my feet, releasing delicate clouds of dust that danced in the soft beams of light filtering through dusty windows. My gaze was drawn to a weathered desk, its surface etched with rings from long-vanished teacups, a silent witness to bygone conversations and quiet contemplations. Running my fingers over its smooth wood, I discovered a leather-bound journal nestled within a drawer, its cracked binding exuding a faint scent of lavender and ink. Opening the journal, I was transported to the late 1800s, through elegant yet faded script, that chronicled the life of Elizabeth Blackwood, the keeper of the library. Her words spoke of peculiar occurrences within the library's walls, books that moved of their own accord, whispers in empty chambers, and a collection of volumes rumored to hold memories rather than mere words. It was said that these mysterious books could reveal glimpses of the past when bathed in a certain light, a notion that stirred a sense of intrigue within me. As I delved deeper into Elizabeth's accounts, a subtle shift in the room unfolded around me. The dust motes in the air swirled with purpose, weaving intricate patterns reminiscent of a waltz, while the sound of pages turning echoed faintly from unseen corners. A gentle breeze carried the haunting strains of a piano melody, its ethereal notes floating through the very essence of the library, evoking a sense of nostalgia for a time long past. The portrait of Elizabeth seemed to transform before my eyes, regaining a clarity that defied the decay of time, as if her presence reached out from the faded canvas to guide me through the labyrinth of forgotten memories. In her journal, Elizabeth described the library as existing in a state of temporal flux, where past and present intertwined during the twilight hours, blurring the boundaries of reality and memory. The shifting light cast dancing shadows that moved independently, revealing spectral figures in antiquated attire, browsing empty shelves, their presence a ghostly echo of bygone eras. Elizabeth's writings unveiled her theory that the library harbored not just books, but the very essence of memories, imprints of emotions and events woven into the fabric of its walls, waiting to be unraveled by those attuned to its mysteries. With a trembling hand, I turned to the final pages of the journal, where Elizabeth's words grew urgent, detailing her gradual assimilation into the tapestry of the library's memories. She spoke of reflections that wore garments from different epochs, of voices echoing words unspoken, hinting at a convergence of past and present that defied conventional understanding. The final entry, left unfinished, hung in the air like a whisper caught on the breeze, leaving me with a sense of unresolved mystery. Closing the journal, I caught a glimpse of my own reflection in a nearby window, momentarily adorned in attire from another era, while the spectral figure of Elizabeth stood at her desk, mirroring my actions in a timeless dance of connection. As the vision faded, a profound sense of unity with the library's enigmatic essence lingered, a comforting acknowledgement that I too had become a part of its ever-evolving narrative. Returning the journal to its resting place, I caught sight of my subtly altered reflection in the polished desk, a silent testament to the library's embrace of my presence as another chapter in its storied past. With a final glance at Elizabeth's portrait, her knowing smile seemed to hold a promise of continuity, a whispered assurance that my fleeting encounter would be preserved in the tapestry of the library's timeless whispers. And as I prepared to depart, the air around me remained heavy with the weight of untold stories, a silent testament to the enduring legacy of a place where memories intertwined with reality in a dance of forgotten whispers. Story 21. In a secluded corner of the local library, I stumbled upon a weathered, leather-bound book that beckoned to me from a dusty shelf. As I delicately turned its brittle pages, a folded piece of paper slipped out, unveiling a map adorned with enigmatic symbols that whispered of forgotten realms. The paper bore the scent of antiquity and ink, and the map portrayed intricate routes and landmarks that hinted at a world lost in the mists of time. Nestling into a plush armchair nearby, the soft velvet cushions cradled me while the afternoon sunlight streamed through tall windows, casting gentle shadows upon the ancient parchment. The lines on the map were etched with exquisite precision, each stroke imbued with purpose and significance. Mysterious symbols adorned the margins, resembling arcane scripts unknown to my scholarly pursuits. The rain outside began its tranquil dance against the window panes, creating a soothing melody that harmonized with the contemplative atmosphere of my discovery. Tracing the paths with my fingertips, I noticed a curious warmth emanating from the paper, and the ink seemed to shimmer faintly in the dim light. The more I scrutinized the map, the more I discerned certain elements shifting subtly when viewed from different angles. In the library's corner, an ancient grandfather clock marked the passage of time with its soft, resonant chimes, each toll causing the symbols on the map to pulse with a subtle luminescence. Enthralled by its mysteries, I observed how the pathways converged towards a central point adorned with an elaborate compass rose. The rain intensified outside, accompanied by the library's aged heating system, emitting gentle creaks and sighs, blending into a melodious backdrop to my exploration. Continuing my scrutiny of the map, I noticed that some symbols mirrored markings etched into the library's stone arches, symbols I had previously dismissed as purely decorative. Silently, I embarked on a journey through the library's corridors, the warm paper guiding my steps and growing warmer as I followed certain directions. The usual sounds of the library, pages rustling, distant footsteps, and the soft murmur of patrons, faded into an expectant hush as I ventured into an uncharted section concealed behind rows of reference materials. The woodwork bore the same symbols as the map, exuding an air heavy with the aroma of ancient tomes and a hint of summer rain mingled with distant thunder. As evening descended, the library lights brightened to dispel the encroaching darkness. Yet in this hidden enclave, the illumination bent around the shelves in curious patterns, casting pools of shadow that defied logic. The map in my hands radiated warmth, revealing hidden lines drawn in invisible ink when held at specific angles. Tracing these concealed paths with my finger, I sensed the room's temperature shifting subtly, and the shadows danced in defiance of the steady light above. The chimes of the grandfather clock reached me like a distant echo, distorted and dreamlike, as the ordinary afternoon transformed into a realm of enigma and wonder. The map seemed to unveil not only physical routes through the library, but also passages through time itself, offering glimpses of the library's bygone eras when viewed in the shifting light. As the library neared closing time, I carefully folded the map and returned it to the book, marking the page with a library slip. The book bore no title on its spine, its cover adorned only with a single symbol mirroring the compass rose from the map. Yet, upon attempting to check out the book, the librarian's computer yielded no record of its presence in their system. Since that fateful discovery, I have frequented the library on rainy afternoons when the sunlight weaves through the windows just so. Sometimes I find the book awaiting me in different locations, hinting at a willful movement through the stacks. The map continues to unveil new paths and symbols, and I have observed fellow patrons engrossed in similar books with identical maps, though we share no direct acknowledgement. The library has metamorphosed into a realm of endless possibilities for me, no longer a mere repository of books, but a labyrinth of untold secrets and potential revelations. On tranquil evenings when the rain taps gently against the windows and the grandfather clock intones its cryptic melody, I unfurl the map and heed its warming guidance through the shelves. Never certain of what lies beyond the next turn, I am imbued with a sense of anticipation, as if on the cusp of comprehending something vast and wondrous. Perhaps the true enigma lies not in the destination the map discloses, but in the odyssey it beckons us to undertake. A voyage through the silent spaces between moments, where time flows like pages unfurling in an ancient tome, and where each shadow harbors the promise of an unseen world awaiting exploration. Story 22. On a misty evening, as I secured the locks of my apartment, a peculiar door caught my eye, hidden behind an ancient bookshelf. Its surface exuded a cold, unyielding aura, accompanied by a soft, enigmatic hum that seemed to beckon from the shadows. With hesitant fingers, I reached out, and the air filled with the musty fragrance of long-forgotten memories, drawing me closer to the unknown. Raindrops tapped gently against my window, creating a serene melody as I stood there, captivated by this mysterious portal. The door itself was a marvel to behold, crafted from weathered wood etched with intricate designs that danced and shifted in the dim light. Tracing my fingertips along the elaborate patterns, I felt as though I was deciphering a tale written in a language lost to time. The warm glow of my reading lamp cast mesmerizing shadows, distorting reality and blurring the boundaries of perception. A subtle sway overtook me, as if I was under a spell woven by light and shadow. The usual sounds of my dwelling, the gentle hum of the heating, the faint ticking of an antique clock, faded into a soothing murmur, enveloping me in a tranquil embrace. Examining the door closely, I realized it bore no handle, no hinges, no visible means of entry. Yet a gentle warmth radiated from its surface, imbuing the air with a comforting glow akin to a summer's day. The carved motifs seemed to transform before my eyes, evoking images of ocean waves and soaring birds. As evening deepened into night, the scent surrounding the door shifted, evolving from musty nostalgia to the fragrance of rain-soaked earth and night-blooming blossoms. Each breath revealed new layers of aroma, hints of vanilla, aged books, and a mysterious essence reminiscent of starlight. Nestled in my favorite armchair, draped in a soft blanket, I watched as moonbeams painted silver patterns on the wooden door, while the hum evolved into a subtle, melodic tune, like a forgotten lullaby. Hours slipped by in peaceful contemplation, the intricate designs on the door seemingly alive with movement, like ripples on a tranquil pond. At times, the door appeared ethereal, almost translucent, before solidifying once more. Yet there was no fear, only a profound sense of awe and tranquility that filled the room with a magical ambience. With the approaching dawn, a remarkable sight unfolded. Beneath the door, glimpses of unfamiliar landscapes emerged, from swaying grass to shimmering sands and even distant stars in a cosmic expanse. As daylight crept in, I pondered the enigmatic door and its hidden wonders. Should I attempt to unlock its mysteries? But a deeper intuition told me that the essence of this door lay not in discovery, but in acceptance. Its mere presence had transformed my home into a realm where reality intertwined with the extraordinary, blurring the lines between the ordinary and the sublime. Some nights, when sleep eluded me, I found solace in the soothing hum emanating from the door, a reminder of the magic that dwells within the mundane. Though the door remained closed, its ever-shifting patterns and ethereal sounds brought a sense of peace and wonder that transcended explanation. It taught me to embrace the unknown, to find beauty in unanswered questions, and to cherish the mysteries that enrich our lives. In the end, perhaps the true destination of the door was not a physical place, but a state of mind, where curiosity and serenity coexist in perfect harmony. And in that realization, I discovered that the journey to nowhere had led me to a profound appreciation for the enigmatic and the unexplained, unveiling the beauty of the unseen and the magic of the ordinary. Story 23. In the midst of a quiet afternoon spent sorting through the forgotten treasures of the attic, my eyes fell upon a portrait that seemed to materialize out of the shadows. The figure within the painting gazed at me with an unwavering intensity, their eyes tracking my every movement as if they held a secret longing to communicate. The backdrop was a dance of light and darkness, swirling and shifting with a mesmerizing grace that hinted at hidden depths. The air was cool and tinged with the delicate scent of lavender, wrapping the room in a cocoon of tranquility. Each creak of the wooden floorboards beneath my feet echoed softly in the stillness, as if the attic itself held its breath in anticipation of what was to come. Dust motes pirouetted in the golden shafts of sunlight that filtered through a solitary window, casting a spell of ethereal beauty over the space. Approaching the portrait, I felt a magnetic pull drawing me closer, as if an invisible thread connected me to the enigmatic figure captured on canvas. The face before me was a masterpiece of ambiguity, neither wholly male nor female, but possessing a timeless quality that transcended gender. A knowing smile played upon their lips, hinting at a reservoir of untold stories hidden beneath the surface. As I delved deeper into the intricacies of the portrait, I noticed subtle shifts in the background, elusive shapes that seemed to morph and transform with each passing moment. The fragrance of lavender grew stronger, weaving itself into the musty perfume of aged wood and forgotten memories, blending into a symphony of scents that stirred something primal within me. Despite the windows being securely shut, a gentle breeze would occasionally caress my skin, setting the dust particles to whirl in a hypnotic ballet of light and shadow. It was as if the attic itself was alive, a silent witness to the mysteries that unfolded within its walls. That evening, armed with an ancient journal discovered among my grandmother's possessions, I settled into an overstuffed armchair in the attic's embrace. The warm glow of a lamp bathed the portrait in a soft radiance, casting elongated shadows that danced around the room like ghosts of the past. The pages of the journal whispered of dreams and visions, of a realm where reality and imagination intertwined in a delicate dance. My grandmother's words spun tales of an artist who possessed the rare gift of capturing not just appearances, but the essence of time itself in their creations. The portrait, it seemed, was a portal to a realm where past, present, and future coalesced in harmonious unity, inviting me to unravel its mysteries one by one. Night after night, I returned to the attic, immersing myself in the enigmatic allure of the portrait. Time took on a fluid quality in that hallowed space, stretching and bending like a river seeking its course. The figure in the painting became a steadfast companion, their inscrutable smile a beacon of reassurance in the midnight hours. In the stillness of the night, when the veil between worlds grew thin, I glimpsed subtle changes in the portrait, a shift in posture, a flicker of movement in the shadows. Whispers, like echoes from a distant past, brushed against my ears, carrying fragments of conversations that seemed to belong to another time. One fateful evening, as I prepared to depart the attic, my gaze lingered on the portrait's background, and there, hidden within the swirling mists, I beheld a multitude of faces, each bearing the same enigmatic smile as the central figure. They flickered in and out of sight, like phantoms caught in a perpetual dance of remembrance. The attic became my sanctuary, a haven where time held no dominion, and mysteries awaited to be unraveled. The scent of lavender, now a constant presence, mingled with the whispers that wove through the shadows, guiding me deeper into the labyrinth of secrets that lay hidden within the portrait. As the days melted into weeks and the weeks into months, I found myself enveloped in a timeless narrative that transcended the boundaries of ordinary existence. The portrait, with its inscrutable gaze and ever-shifting background, became a mirror to my own journey of self-discovery, reflecting back the truths I had yet to uncover. My grandmother's journal, a treasure trove of enigmatic musings, remained silent on the identity of the artist or the origins of the portrait, leaving me to ponder the mysteries that lay shrouded in its depths. And yet, in that very ambiguity, I found a profound sense of peace, a reassurance that some truths are meant to be felt rather than understood. Now, as I sit in the familiar embrace of my armchair, the portrait looms over me like a silent guardian, its gaze a beacon of wisdom in the quiet confines of the attic. The scent of lavender lingers in the air, a soothing balm for the soul, while the whispers of forgotten voices echo through the shadows, weaving a tapestry of memories that span generations. In the delicate dance between reality and dreams, where the known and the unknown merge in a symphony of enchantment, the portrait remains a testament to the enduring power of mystery. It hangs on the attic wall, a timeless enigma waiting to be embraced, a doorway to a world where imagination reigns supreme and possibilities are as boundless as the night sky. And in that sacred space between what is and what could be, I find solace in the ever-unfolding story that whispers of a truth beyond words. Story 24, The Phantom Lights. On a crisp evening, while wandering near an abandoned factory, my attention was captured by faint, flickering lights that danced playfully along its weathered walls. The once desolate building, shrouded in darkness, suddenly bloomed with a mysterious glow, drawing me in with a magnetic pull. The air whispered of antiquity, carrying the scent of rust and forgotten industry, as the enigmatic illumination beckoned me closer, inviting me to unravel the secrets it held within. I found myself irresistibly drawn towards the aged structure, my steps soft upon the gravel and fallen leaves that carpeted the ground. The autumn breeze brushed against my skin, carrying with it the fragrance of damp earth and aged brick, lulling me into a tranquil state. As I neared, the lights pulsated with a gentle rhythm, akin to a slow, hypnotic breath, inhaling and exhaling in sync with the steady beat of my heart. The exterior walls of the factory loomed before me, etched with the passage of time and wear. Layers of history were unveiled as patches of peeling paint unfurled like ancient scrolls, revealing stories of eras long past. Through dusty, time-worn windows, the mysterious lights danced, creating an illusion of ethereal movement both inside and outside the building, blurring the boundaries of reality. My hand brushed against the cool metal of a side door, which surprisingly yielded with a soft whisper from its hinges. The sound reverberated through the empty space within, a gentle reminder of the vastness that lay ahead. The air inside felt alive, charged with an electric energy that tingled on my skin, awakening a sense of anticipation and wonder. Venturing deeper into the interior, I noticed how the phantom lights seemed to guide my path, their soft glow casting shadows that played upon abandoned machinery like silent specters. The dormant equipment stood as stoic sentinels, their forms transformed by darkness into abstract sculptures of a bygone era. The distant drip of water added a soothing cadence to my exploration, harmonizing with the gentle dance of light and shadow. Ascending a metal staircase, each step released a melodic echo beneath my feet, as if the building itself whispered secrets of its past. A subtle vibration hummed in the air, faint yet unmistakable, reminiscent of the distant thrum of power lines but imbued with a musical quality, a purposeful melody that resonated with my soul. Upon reaching the second floor, I entered a vast chamber where moonlight filtered through shattered skylights, mingling with the warm radiance of the phantom lights. Dust motes pirouetted in the beams, choreographing an intricate ballet of light and shadow that seemed orchestrated by unseen hands. Strewn across the floor, aged papers bore faded technical drawings and handwritten notes, relics of a forgotten time. As I bent to examine one of the papers, the lights gathered around me, their glow intensifying in a silent display of intelligence and purpose. They wove intricate patterns in the air, resembling celestial constellations that shifted into cryptic symbols, a language of light that eluded my comprehension. The ambient temperature fluctuated subtly, creating ephemeral pockets of warmth that brushed past like veiled whispers, prompting the lights to change hues in response. Mesmerized by their ethereal performance, I swayed slightly, enraptured by the silent symphony unfolding before me. In a far corner, the lights converged around an ancient control panel, illuminating switches and dials that lay dormant yet alive in their luminous embrace. They reenacted a spectral dance of activity, echoes of a bygone workforce that once animated this industrial haven. Time seemed suspended as I stood amidst this otherworldly spectacle, enveloped by the gentle serenade of the building. The distant drip of water, the whisper of wind through broken windows, the subtle creak of aging metal, blending seamlessly into a hypnotic melody. The lights continued their enigmatic ballet, each movement narrating a tale that resonated deep within me, a narrative beyond words or logic. As the night waned, the lights began to dim, their gradual fade mirroring their initial emergence with patience and grace. Drifting upwards towards the skylights, they dwindled until they melded with the dawning sky, leaving behind a final pattern resembling a farewell gesture, evoking a profound sense of witnessing something wondrous and beyond comprehension. Retracing my steps through the now tranquil factory, guided by the softening light of dawn, I sensed a shift in the atmosphere, a peace that now enveloped the once desolate space, imbued with the lingering energy of the phantom lights. Even now, under the cover of night, I returned to the old factory, yearning to witness the mysterious lights once more. Though they have yet to reappear, the air whispers of anticipation, of untold possibilities, as if the lights await the perfect moment to resume their enigmatic tale. Story 25. In the soft light of a crisp autumn morning, I reached for the daily paper and uncovered a hidden treasure amidst the usual bills. A folded note, delicately placed. The words, written in a script as elegant as the falling leaves outside, held a mysterious allure that sent a shiver down my spine. The air carried whispers of secrets, of stories waiting to be told, and as I unfolded the note, a sense of anticipation filled the room. The message within was enigmatic yet intriguing. What you seek lies beneath the 7th floorboard from the hearth. Living alone in my grandmother's ancient Victorian home, I was no stranger to the enigmas that dwelled within its walls. But this message, with its cryptic instructions, awakened a dormant curiosity deep within me. The handwriting bore a resemblance to my grandmother's, whose graceful penmanship had graced recipe cards and letters of old. Yet, she had departed this world 5 years prior, leaving behind a legacy of untold tales. As the sun began its descent, casting long shadows that danced across the worn floorboards, I felt a pull towards the heart of the house, the living room. The grandfather clock ticked solemnly, its rhythm a steady pulse that echoed through the stillness. Outside, the wind sang a haunting melody as it rustled through the trees, a melody as old as time itself. Drawing closer to the fireplace, I traced my fingers along the familiar grooves of the floorboards, counting each one with a sense of reverence. 1, 2, 3. The house seemed to hold its breath, as if anticipating the revelation that awaited. 4, 5, 6. And then the 7th board, unassuming yet pregnant with possibility. As my hand hovered over it, a subtle chill crept up my spine, signaling a shift in the air. In the dim light, a faint glimmer caught my eye. A barely perceptible gap at the edge of the board, a secret waiting to be unveiled. The wood beneath my touch felt alive, responsive to my presence. With a gentle pressure, a soft click resonated through the room, followed by the hushed creak of wood as the floorboard yielded to reveal a hidden chamber below. A breath of age and mystery wafted upwards, mingling with the faint scent of lavender, my grandmother's signature fragrance. Nestled within the depths of the hidden space lay a velvet pouch, its rich hues undimmed by time. Trembling hands lifted the pouch, revealing a gleaming silver key, its intricate patterns dancing in the lamplight like whispers of the past. Recognition dawned as I cradled the key in my palm, the same key that had once hung around my grandmother's neck, a symbol of secrets untold. Its purpose had long been a source of speculation, disappearing with her passing. And yet, here it was, finding its way back to me through a tapestry of fate and mystery. As the rain began its gentle patter against the windows, I sank into my grandmother's old armchair, the key a cool weight in my hand. The house murmured around me, its ancient timbers settling into the night. Shadows flickered and danced, each one a potential hiding place for untold truths. Memories stirred within me, memories long forgotten but now resurfacing with a clarity that bordered on revelation. My grandmother's words echoed in the stillness, her enigmatic smile a beacon of wisdom in the darkness. She had spoken of hidden chambers, of family legacies waiting to be uncovered. And now, here I sat, on the cusp of a discovery that promised to illuminate the shadows of the past. The rain's cadence blended with the steady heartbeat of the grandfather clock, a lullaby of mystery and nostalgia. No rush consumed me to unravel the secrets of the key. Instead, I embraced the unfolding narrative with a sense of peace and acceptance. Some doors, I realized, only open when the time is ripe, when we are ready to step into the unknown. In the liminal space between wakefulness and slumber, I fancied I could hear my grandmother's voice, tender and wise. "Patience, my dear," she whispered, her words a balm to my restless soul. The key, a talisman of connection to the past, held the promise of answers yet to come. The mystery remained unsolved, its tendrils reaching into the hidden recesses of the house, beckoning me to explore further. But for now, I basked in the gentle glow of the reading lamp, content to let the story unfold at its own pace. Like a flower unfurling its petals to the dawn, I welcomed the unknown with a heart full of wonder and curiosity. The note that had sparked this journey now rested in my grandmother's jewelry box, a silent witness to the mysteries that awaited. Its message lingered in the air, a reminder that some questions are best left unanswered, their solutions woven into the fabric of time. And so I drifted into dreams, the key a symbol of connection to a past that whispered its secrets in the language of shadows and light. Story 26. Amidst the crumbling walls of a forgotten building, I embarked on a journey driven by curiosity. The vast hall echoed with a haunting silence, broken only by the mysterious laughter that seemed to dance through the cold stone like a melody of old. A mix of invitation and unease hung in the air, blending with the musty scent of neglect that clung to every corner. Each step I took carried me deeper into the shadows, where the past whispered secrets in the thickening atmosphere heavy with untold tales. Moonlight filtered through tall windows, painting elongated shadows on the worn marble floors, a silent waltz of light and darkness. My hesitant footfalls mingled with the rustle of autumn leaves, a delicate symphony serenading the solitude of the abandoned space. Tracing my fingers along the peeling wallpaper, I felt the remnants of faded grandeur beneath my touch, the walls holding memories of bygone opulence. Time had softened the once sharp edges, much like it had softened the harsh lines of the decaying structure. Another laugh, closer this time, carried the essence of ancient books and forgotten whispers, beckoning me to follow its elusive trail. The grand staircase creaked softly under my weight, as if sharing the echoes of those who had climbed its steps in years past. The polished wooden banister guided me upward, each step a testament to the passage of time. On the second floor, a corridor lined with tarnished mirrors reflected slivers of moonlight, casting an ethereal glow that seemed to pulsate with hidden secrets. The laughter surrounded me, teasing from all directions as if the mirrors themselves held a shared secret. Shadows flitted at the edge of my vision, ephemeral glimpses of a past long faded. Despite the chill outside, a warmth enveloped the air, reminiscent of sun-drenched afternoons in forgotten libraries, where memories lingered like dust motes in the sunlight. The wooden floorboards whispered beneath my feet, creating a rhythmic dance that mirrored the beating of my heart, forging an intimate connection with the forgotten space. A partially open door at the end of the hall emitted a soft, golden light, drawing me closer with a gentle allure. The laughter, now akin to wind chimes in a soft breeze, resonated from within the room beyond. Intricate carvings adorned the door frame, frozen figures caught in a perpetual dance of joy and mystery. Entering the room, my eyes fell upon an ancient phonograph, its brass horn refracting the mysterious light that bathed the space. Though the turntable spun without a record, the room felt alive with a palpable energy. A high-backed chair stood beside the phonograph, its velvet upholstery worn yet vibrant. As I settled into the chair, it seemed to mold itself to my form, as though anticipating my presence. Time ebbed and flowed in the room, the laughter now a gentle hum that resonated deep within me. The moon hung low outside the tall windows, casting shifting shadows that danced across the walls, weaving tales of forgotten times. Figures seemed to materialize in the patterns of light, their movements synchronized with the phantom laughter that filled the room. The space felt both foreign and familiar, like a dream on the edge of memory. With the dawn approaching and the sky painted in soft hues of gray, a realization dawned upon me. The laughter had become intertwined with my being, blurring the lines between observer and observed. As I reluctantly rose to depart, a sense of longing tugged at my movements, as if the room itself wished to hold me in its embrace a moment longer. Though I never returned to that place, the distant laughter still finds me in quiet nights, weaving through dreams and lingering in the liminal spaces between sleep and wakefulness. In those fleeting moments, I question if a part of me remains in that room, seated in the velvet chair, enveloped in the echoes of joy that reverberate through the empty halls. I wonder if what I found there, or what found me, lingers as a fragment of a shared memory, waiting for another soul to follow the laughter and unearth the mysteries that dwell within the shadows of that forgotten place. Story 27. As I strolled through a local museum filled with historic portraits, one painting beckoned to me in a way I couldn't explain. Amidst the familiar faces of a Victorian family in their drawing room, there lurked a figure barely visible in the background, a presence unlike any other in the gallery. The atmosphere was one of reverent whispers from the past, mingling with the cool, polished scent of aged wood that permeated the air. The museum was quiet that autumn afternoon, punctuated only by the soft footsteps of the occasional guard treading the hardwood floors, casting long shadows under the gentle sunlight streaming through the tall windows. Golden beams illuminated the dust motes that danced in the air, creating a mesmerizing display of floating particles. The distinct aroma of the museum enveloped me, a blend of old wood, oil paint, and a faint metallic hint from the gilded frames. My attention kept returning to that particular portrait, capturing a Victorian family frozen in time. The mother exuded elegance in her velvet dress. The father stood proudly behind her, and 3 children were arranged around them. Yet, it was the enigmatic figure in the background that intrigued me the most. Partially concealed by a painted curtain, it seemed to be a recent addition, an anomaly in the otherwise serene scene. The more I gazed at it, the more I felt a sense of unease creeping over me. It was as if the figure didn't belong, as if it held a secret waiting to be uncovered. Time seemed to slow down as I stood before the painting, my reflection ghostly against the glass protecting the canvas. The air around that portrait felt different, colder, as though a winter chill seeped through an unseen crack. My fingers traced invisible patterns near the frame, following the contours of the mysterious figure without making contact with the protective barrier. The guards' rhythmic patrols provided a subtle backdrop as I delved deeper into the details of the painting. A soft voice startled me from my reverie. The curator, a silver-haired woman with wire-rimmed glasses, stood beside me, acknowledging my prolonged contemplation of the artwork. I gestured towards the hidden figure, inquiring about its origin. The curator's smile held a hint of mystery as she recounted the portrait's history. Commissioned in 1876 by a family, the painting was completed by an unknown artist after the original disappeared. To the family's surprise, the background figure was absent in the initial sitting, raising questions about its mysterious appearance. Her words lingered in the air like a soft snowfall, adding to the painting's mystique. The curator revealed that over the years, visitors had reported seeing different forms in the hidden figure, a man, a woman, or even a child. Yet they all shared a common perception. The figure seemed to observe them in return. A subtle shift in the gallery's lighting coincided with her words, casting a momentary shadow over the room. In that fleeting darkness, I could swear the figure moved closer to the family in the painting, shedding its veil of obscurity. The curator's gentle touch brought me back to the present as she hinted at the painting's affinity towards me. Not everyone could perceive the hidden figure, she explained, suggesting that repeated visits might unveil further secrets. With a sense of intrigue, I bid her farewell and prepared to depart. However, my reflection in the glass caught my eye once more, revealing a fleeting image of the enigmatic figure standing behind me, its presence more palpable than ever before. Yet as quickly as it appeared, it retreated to its original place within the painted scene. That night, as I lay in bed, the curator's words echoed in my mind, intertwining with dreams of ornate frames and endless gallery corridors where painted figures mingled with the living. Since that enigmatic encounter, I've returned to the museum numerous times, losing myself in the subtle nuances of the painting. The hidden figure remained a constant enigma, a silent observer with ever-changing mysteries veiled in oils and shadows. What captivated me wasn't just the enigma of the portrait's creation or the identity of the hidden figure. It was the painting's elusive nature, choosing whom to reveal its secrets to while remaining a mere family portrait to others. Perhaps certain artworks transcend mere materials, serving as gateways to realms where art and reality blend seamlessly, blurring the lines between observer and observed. The portrait still hangs in silent vigil, awaiting those attuned to its concealed depths. In moments of solitude, bathed in the perfect light, I ponder if the figure in the background watches me as keenly as I scrutinize it, each of us locked in a timeless exchange across the ethereal boundary that separates our worlds. In the hush of my living room during the late hours of the night, a delicate piano melody unfurled its tendrils, caressing the air, though no visible hands graced the keys. The notes meandered through the shadows, intertwining with the fragrance of weathered books and dust, creating an atmosphere of both fascination and disquiet. I found myself rooted to my seat, captivated by a tune that seemed to materialize from the very essence of the room. The soft moonbeams seeping through the drapes bathed the piano in a spectral glow, illuminating each key as it was pressed down in a seamless cadence, conjuring a haunting nocturne unknown to my ears. The melody, though simple in structure, carried a depth of emotion that tugged at my soul, evoking a profound sense of yearning. Enveloped by the embrace of my grandmother's cherished quilt, I surrendered to the enigmatic music swirling around me, a gentle dance of sound and silence. The floorboards beneath my feet exuded a familiar warmth, while the steady heartbeat of the grandfather clock in the corner provided a rhythmic backdrop to the ethereal composition. As the music lingered in the air, a subtle shift in the room's ambience unfolded. A cool breeze whispered through, carrying with it the faint scent of lavender, the signature perfume of my grandmother. The flames in the fireplace flickered languidly, as if mesmerized by the melody's enchantment. Each note hung suspended in the atmosphere, stretching time into a fluid continuum of uncertainty and reverie. With closed eyes, I sought to etch every nuance of this mystical interlude into my memory. The piano's reverberations possessed a liquid quality, akin to droplets cascading into a serene pond, each note rippling and merging with the next. Beneath the surface melody, elusive whispers of familiar tunes lingered, teasing recognition yet remaining just beyond grasp. Upon reopening my eyes, I discerned a subtle alteration in the moonlit tableau, casting new shadows across the room. The music had softened, assuming a contemplative air. Details previously unnoticed now came into focus. The gentle sway of the sheet music stand, the precise movement of the pedals, the faint creak of the piano bench despite its vacant seat. Memories stirred within me, summoning recollections of summers spent listening to my grandmother's melodies on this very instrument, her fingers alighting on the keys with grace and purpose. I recalled the way her eyes would drift shut during poignant passages, as though carried away to distant realms by the music's spell. In a spectral response to my thoughts, the mysterious pianist interwove fragments of my grandmother's lullaby into the ongoing composition. Joy and melancholy intertwined, harmonies blending in a tapestry of emotion that transcended the tangible. The room's temperature shifted imperceptibly, cocooning me in ephemeral warmth reminiscent of long-lost embraces. Shadows danced in synchrony with the music on the walls, and fleeting glimpses of phantom hands traversing the keys tantalized my peripheral vision. Time ebbed and flowed, its passage nebulous and indistinct. The melody decelerated, each note deliberate and laden with significance. The music waned, a whisper fading into silence. A gentle zephyr brushed against my cheek, carrying with it the mingled scents of lavender, aged wood, and piano polish. As the final strains dissolved into the stillness, a residual energy lingered in the air, palpable yet inscrutable. The grandfather clock intoned a soft chime, heralding the impending dawn, and I realized that morning was on the cusp of breaking. The enigma of the unseen pianist persisted, shrouded in the veil of night. The melody lingered in the recesses of my mind, elusive and unreplicable. On tranquil evenings suffused with moonlight, I find myself ensconced in my armchair, a silent sentinel, awaiting the return of those ethereal notes. Though the phantom musician remains elusive, a familiar presence lingers in the room, as if poised at the piano, fingers poised above the keys, poised for the moment of inception. The piano, a silent sentinel in the living room, gathers dust amid sporadic polishings. Yet, with each passing by, a faint whiff of lavender tugs at my senses, and the keys retain a residual warmth from that fateful night. Some mysteries I've come to realize are not meant to be unraveled, but rather to be embraced, cherished, and enshrined in the chambers of our hearts, a tapestry of memories blurring the boundaries between reality and reverie. Story 29. In the quiet confines of my humble backyard garden, a curious discovery unfolded before my eyes. Amidst the fertile soil, a trail of dainty footprints appeared, their presence a mystery shrouded in quiet elegance. These prints, small and intentional, led me on a journey into the lush thicket of tangled shrubs, where nature's secrets whispered on the breeze. The scent of earth and blossoms hung in the air, laced with a hint of the unknown, as if unseen eyes observed my every move. Kneeling to inspect the footprints, a sense of subtle surveillance enveloped me, a feeling both eerie and oddly comforting. The sunlight filtered through the canopy above, painting intricate patterns of light and shadow upon the ground, a dance of mystery and allure. My garden, usually a haven of tranquility, now held an air of enigmatic enchantment that beckoned me further into its depths. Running my fingers along the delicate outlines of the footprints, I felt the cool dampness of the soil beneath. These tracks were not of any creature known to me. Too precise for a feline, too distinct for a bird, and possessing a humanoid quality that sent shivers down my spine. The rhythm of their placement hinted at purposeful movement, a deliberate path through the greenery that defied simple explanation. As I followed the trail deeper into the garden, the fragrance of jasmine grew stronger, wrapping me in its sweet embrace. The wind chimes hung silent, their stillness adding to the eerie ambience that surrounded me. The footprints led me to the ancient stone fountain, its gentle murmur a soothing backdrop to the enigma unfolding before me. Night after night, I found myself drawn back to the garden, witnessing the mysterious footprints vanish with the changing weather, only to reappear in new configurations come dawn. They wove intricate patterns around the rose bushes, meandered through the herb garden, and always led back to the impenetrable thicket, as if the maker simply dissolved into the foliage. In a gesture of reverence, I left small offerings by the fountain, berries plucked fresh from the vines, wildflowers arranged in delicate clusters, and dabs of honey in ceramic vessels. Each morning, the offerings vanished, replaced by curious tokens, spiraled shells of unearthly beauty, stones aglow with otherworldly luminescence, and intricate designs etched in the soil with seeds unknown to me. Whispers of the garden's transformation spread beyond its borders, piquing the curiosity of neighboring children. The blooms flourished with newfound vibrancy, long-suffering plants suddenly thriving under the mysterious influence. Moths and butterflies graced the garden in unprecedented numbers, their wings adorned with hues that defied conventional description. On a tranquil evening, painted in pastel shades by the setting sun, I settled onto the weathered bench near the fountain, enveloped in the heady perfume of night-blooming blossoms. Fireflies waltzed through the air, casting their ethereal glow over the garden beds. With closed eyes, I savored the symphony of nature, only to detect a faint rustle in the thicket. Upon opening my eyes, a diminutive figure perched at the fountain's edge, its form wavering between solidity and translucence, like a wisp of morning mist touched by the dawn's first light. We regarded each other in a shared silence, a moment suspended in time where fear and astonishment held no sway. There, amidst the garden's sanctuary, a profound tranquility enveloped us both, a peace born of deep understanding. The being's eyes mirrored an ancient wisdom, akin to the secrets whispered by nature herself, in the spirals of shells, in the symmetry of petals, in the very essence of growth and renewal. Without words, a knowing passed between us, illuminating the garden as a threshold, a liminal space where worlds converged. As twilight deepened into night, the figure gradually dissolved into the shadows, leaving behind a single footprint brimming with water that shimmered like celestial diamonds. From that moment on, the garden bore a subtle shift, a transformation not of emptiness, but of boundless potential. The footprints persisted, the offerings continued, yet I no longer sought to unravel the enigma of their origin. Instead, I tended to my garden with a newfound purpose, embracing the notion that some spaces exist in the realm between certainty and mystery, between wakefulness and dreams. The footprints served as a reminder that magic need not announce itself with grand gestures. Sometimes it whispers through the soil, leaves delicate imprints upon the earth, and transforms the ordinary into the beautifully, peacefully extraordinary. Story 30. In the dusty passageways of an ancient estate, I stumbled upon a faded tapestry hanging loosely on a weathered stone wall. As I gently pushed it aside, a concealed door emerged, blending seamlessly into the aged masonry. A cool, earthy aroma of ancient stone mingled with the faint scent of withered roses enveloped the space. With cautious hands, I nudged open the door and crossed the threshold into a hidden chamber that whispered of long-held enigmas. Moonbeams filtered through a slender window, casting ethereal silver patterns upon the worn wooden floorboards. The chamber, though smaller than anticipated, about 15 feet square, boasted shelves that lined 3 walls from floor to ceiling. Each shelf cradled peculiar artifacts: crystal vials brimming with vivid liquids, leather-bound tomes devoid of titles, and intricately carved wooden boxes cloaked in shadows under the dim light. The air within felt weightier somehow, as if time itself moved languidly. A stately grandfather clock stood sentinel in one corner, its pendulum motionless, its hands frozen at the stroke of midnight. A gentle zephyr murmured through unseen crevices, weaving a soft, melodic hum that mirrored my own breaths. Approaching a shelf, I was drawn to a particular vial that emitted a faint inner glow. The glass felt warm to my touch, and as I cradled it, I discerned something peculiar. My reflection shimmered within the vial, but the eyes gazing back at me were not my own. They were kind, ancient eyes, brimming with wisdom and secrets untold. Setting the vial down gingerly, the foreign eyes dissipated like morning mist. Amongst the books, one stood out, its spine adorned with silver threads that shimmered in the moonlight. When I flipped through its blank pages, my fingertips subtle indentations, as if invisible words had been inscribed with ethereal ink. The paper's texture was uncommonly soft, akin to silk beneath my touch. A dusty music box rested on a small table at the room's center, its surface adorned with a perfect circle imprinted, as if a phantom hand had traced its outline recently. Upon lifting the lid, instead of a melody, I heard distant whispers, speaking in a language almost familiar. The whispers dwindled into a mere whisper, melding with the echo of my own ruminations. The chamber seemed to hold its breath as I delved deeper. Each artifact left me with more queries than resolutions. A mirror on one wall reflected the chamber behind me in an altered state, shelves arranged in configurations I knew did not exist when I turned to inspect. In its reflection, moonlight cast divergent shadows, and at times I glimpsed movements in my periphery, though I stood alone. Time ebbed and flowed within that space, its passage uncertain. Minutes could have stretched into hours. The grandfather clock remained mute, yet its presence seemed to measure time in a cryptic manner beyond my grasp. The air warmed, carrying the fragrance of aged parchment and a sweeter essence, reminiscent of vanilla or a fading memory of it. In a corner, partially obscured by leather-bound journals, a small wooden chest beckoned. Unlike its ornate counterparts, this chest bore no embellishments, only smooth obsidian wood that absorbed the moon's radiance. Upon contact, a gentle vibration, akin to a cat's purr, and a soothing warmth coursed through my arm. The chest's lock bore no keyhole, only concentric circles that rippled under my touch like a tranquil pond. Tracing the patterns, the circles aligned in response to a sequence beyond my conscious will. With a soft exhalation, the lid yielded, unveiling a solitary item, a letter inscribed in fluid script that seemed to shift and dance as I attempted to decipher its message. Addressed to the one who finds this room, every word I perused slipped from comprehension as swiftly as I progressed to the next line. What lingered was not the literal content, but the emotion it stirred, a profound connection to something vast and enigmatic, yet intimately personal. Replacing the letter within the chest, I observed the moonlight transmute, heralding the imminent dawn. The chamber felt altered, not less enigmatic, but somehow more intimate, as if it had acknowledged my presence and shared morsels of its enigma. Aware I should depart, I tarried, absorbing final nuances, dust motes pirouetting in the burgeoning light, cryptic patterns in the floorboards that could be ancient inscriptions, and the gentle creak of settling shelves in the warming ambience. As I finally retreated through the door, allowing the tapestry to veil the chamber once more, I carried not answers, but a profound reverence for the enigmas veiled in the shadows of antiquity. At times I can still sense the warmth of that wooden chest upon my fingertips, still discern those distant whispers at the brink of slumber. And on certain nights, under the full moon's glow and the sigh of wind through vacant corridors, I ponder if that chamber awaits another visitor, its mysteries reshuffling like the reflections in the mirror, poised to unveil a new narrative to the next soul who dares venture beyond the tattered tapestry. Story 31. In the hush of a deserted art gallery, I found myself immersed in a world of broken frames and abandoned canvases. Soft echoes of footsteps whispered through the heavy air, as though a spectral presence walked silently beside me. The scent of ancient canvas and aged varnish lingered, stirring echoes of past joys and hidden heartaches concealed within the gallery's silent embrace. This forgotten place had been left to decay for years, yet a mysterious force had drawn me here on this particular day. Dust motes pirouetted in the slivers of light that filtered through the grimy windows, casting ethereal beams upon the weathered wooden floor. My fingertips trailed along the textured wallpaper, tracing the faded patterns etched into its surface. The soft footsteps persisted, a constant rhythm that never faltered in its proximity to me. Initially, I attributed the sound to the building settling or my own footsteps resonating off the lofty ceilings. But there was a gracefulness to those steps, a delicate quality that set them apart from my own. Passing by empty frames, their once vibrant contents now a mere memory, I ventured deeper into the chilled depths of the gallery. The air grew cooler, carrying with it a faint aroma of oil paint mingled with age. In a secluded chamber, I encountered a solitary painting, a portrait of a young woman clad in white, her gaze seeming to follow my every move. Unlike the surrounding decay, the canvas remained remarkably intact. A small brass plaque beneath the painting bore a solitary date from a bygone era, devoid of any artist's signature or title. As I paused to study the enigmatic portrait, the accompanying footsteps ceased, enveloping the room in an eerie stillness. A rustling, like the whisper of fabric against the floor, teased my senses, sending a shiver down my spine. The temperature plummeted, and a chill prickled the hairs on my arms. Stepping through an adjoining doorway, I entered what must have once been the grand exhibition hall of the gallery. Tall windows stood sentinel, their panes clouded with neglect and time. Rain began to tap against the glass, its gentle rhythm blending with the enigmatic footsteps that echoed through the empty space. Details previously unseen caught my eye: abandoned paintbrushes, a toppled easel, a palette encrusted with dried pigments. Everything lay beneath a thick veil of dust, save for a patch near the far wall where the floor appeared disturbed. Here the footsteps grew louder, their patterns subtly diverging from my own. They mirrored my movements, halting when I did, yet occasionally extending a step or two beyond, creating an unsettling echo. The rustle of fabric intensified, accompanied by a faint hint of lavender perfume that hung in the air. Out of the corner of my eye, I glimpsed fleeting movements, a flash of white, the ghostly outline of a figure. But each time I turned to confront the apparition, there was naught but swirling motes of dust in the dim light. Outside, the rain continued its gentle serenade, casting shifting shadows across the floor like liquid silver. Drawn to a door that led to what appeared to be an artist's studio, I found dried tubes of paint scattered across a workbench and an unfinished canvas propped on an easel. The painting depicted a scene familiar yet different: the exhibition hall I had just traversed, now vibrant with light and bustling with spectators admiring art that no longer adorned the walls. As I contemplated the unfinished masterpiece, the footsteps encircled me in a slow, mesmerizing dance. The scent of lavender intensified, and the air grew colder, my breath visible in wisps. A soft, melodic hum floated on the air, a tune on the cusp of recognition. The wan daylight filtering through the windows took on a golden hue, defying the dreariness of the overcast sky. In that ephemeral moment, I realized the footsteps had synchronized with the cadence of my own heartbeat. With deliberate slowness, I turned, and for a fleeting heartbeat, I beheld her, the woman from the portrait, her form translucent as morning mist, her gown billowing in an unseen breeze. She offered a gentle smile, her hand raised in a gesture of welcome. A paintbrush rested delicately between her ethereal fingers as she motioned towards the unfinished canvas, and then beckoned towards the main hall. Understanding dawned upon me like a slowly unfurling flower. This spectral presence was the guardian of this artistic realm, her unfinished work a testament to her eternal creativity. The footsteps I had heard were not echoes of the past, but the rhythm of her ceaseless dedication. She was not a haunting spirit, but a devoted curator, forever tending to her spectral gallery. I returned to the gallery in quiet reverence, walking its shadowed corridors in harmonious companionship with my unseen guide. Sometimes I bring fresh blooms, placing them beneath her portrait as a silent offering. On those days, the footsteps seem lighter, and the fragrance of lavender intertwines with the floral bouquet. In moments of tranquility, I catch the faint strains of her almost familiar melody as she continues her eternal vigil, tending to her ethereal collection. The gallery remains veiled from the outside world, a sanctuary of quietude and enigmatic beauty. Some artistry is meant to be cherished in solitude, its mysteries preserved like delicate whispers carried on the wind. On rainy afternoons, when the light cascades through the towering windows, I swear I glimpse the progression of her spectral brushstrokes on the unfinished canvas, a testament to her timeless artistry, in perfect synchrony with those echoing footsteps that reverberate through the silent halls. Story 32, drawn by an unexplainable yearning to unravel mysteries. I found myself stepping into a forgotten theater on the outskirts of town, its former glory now a mere echo in the decayed grandeur. The ornate balconies and plush velvet seats murmured tales of a time long past, filled with applause and theatrical drama. With each step onto the weathered stage, a faint, haunting voice floated towards me, weaving lines dripping with both sorrow and yearning. The sound lingered, bouncing off the aged walls, blending with the musty perfume of neglected dreams and dusty curtains, leaving me to ponder if the theater was truly deserted. A soft autumn breeze danced through unseen crevices, orchestrating a delicate symphony of rustling papers and distant murmurs. My footfalls were hushed on the worn wooden boards, each one sighing under my weight. The air carried a peculiar thickness, as if traversing layers of memories frozen in time. Above, the grand chandelier hung in silent repose, its crystals coated in dust, yet occasionally catching stray beams of light that filtered through high windows, casting ethereal patterns that waltzed across the walls. I felt a pull towards the wing of the stage, where ancient props lay veiled in sheets resembling gentle waves in the dimness. The voice I had heard seemed to beckon from that direction, though now reduced to a mere whisper on the wind. Amidst forgotten set pieces, I stumbled upon an antique dressing room mirror, its glass clouded with age yet exuding an otherworldly shimmer. As I drew near, the air around me chilled, a crispness that was more invigorating than chilling. The mirror seemed to throb with an enigmatic energy that defied explanation. In its reflection, I glimpsed movements not my own, shadows of performers from a bygone era still perfecting their art. The voice grew faintly clearer, a woman perhaps, reciting lines of a tragic love story. Her words carried a melodic cadence that was both soothing and sorrowful. Time warped within that space. Minutes stretched into hours as I unearthed old playbills that crumbled at my touch and costumes that retained whispers of perfume. The voice led me on a gentle journey through forgotten corners of the theater. In the orchestra pit, sheet music lay scattered on ancient stands, notes faded yet still visible, as if anticipating the return of musicians to breathe life into them once more. As evening descended, the quality of light shifted, casting elongated shadows that seemed to move with intent across the rows of seats. The voice gained strength, yet never rising above a hushed murmur. I found myself settled in a well-preserved velvet chair, watching as specks of dust pirouetted in the waning sunlight. The theater pulsed around me, its walls expanding and contracting with the weight of countless tales. In that moment of serenity, I realized the voice wasn't addressing any specific listener. It was the theater itself, reminiscing. Each word entwined threads of performances past, of ovations and tearful goodbyes, of opening nights and final curtains. As night enveloped the space, the darkness imbued a new depth to the voice. It seemed to emanate from everywhere and nowhere simultaneously, saturating the air with a warm resonance that made it hum with subtle energy. The words grew clearer, though their essence remained just beyond reach, akin to recollecting a dream upon waking. The chandelier overhead caught the moon's glow, casting iridescent rainbows that danced like the aurora borealis across the ceiling. I teetered on the edge of consciousness and slumber, the voice a soothing lullaby, reality and dreams intertwined seamlessly. In those twilight moments of awareness, I could almost discern the phantom audience, their forms hinted at by the interplay of moonlight and shadow. They sat in reverent silence, as captivated by the voice as I was. The night deepened, bringing with it a profound tranquility. The voice began to ebb, not abruptly but gradually, like a tide withdrawing from the shore. In its fading echoes lingered a sense of gratitude, as if my presence had acknowledged and validated the myriad stories held within those walls. The theater settled, creaking and sighing like an old soul preparing for slumber. When I eventually stood to depart, the voice had dissolved into a mere memory, a faint echo in the recesses of my mind. Yet the theater felt transformed, more vibrant somehow, despite its abandonment. With each step towards the exit, the aged floorboards voiced a gentle protest, reminding me that some places never truly empty. They endure, cradling their narratives close until a willing listener chances upon them. Even now, months later, I am drawn back to that theater in the mystical hours between twilight and dawn. The voice lingers, at times a mere whisper, a gentle nudge that behind every curtain and beneath every layer of dust, stories lie in wait for those who pause to listen. The theater endures as a sanctuary where the boundary between past and present blurs, and where memories swirl like dust motes in the moonlight, forever preserved in the soft echoes of that enigmatic voice. Story 33. In the deep hush of a late night, I found myself enveloped in the soft whisper of pages turning and the comforting scent of aged books mingling with the rich aroma of coffee. Amidst this familiar sanctuary of knowledge, a subtle shift in the shadows caught my attention, a presence lingering in the corner of my study where no one should have been. My pulse quickened as I grappled with the uncertainty of whether it was a mere trick of the mind or an unexpected visitor from realms unknown. Outside, the rain tapped gently against the window, a constant companion to my solitary pursuits throughout the night. The golden glow of my antique desk lamp cast a warm sheen over the worn leather-bound tomes that encircled me, each book bearing the quiet history of countless hands that had traced their spines. The old grandfather clock in the corner hummed with rhythmic ticking, a cadence so familiar that it had almost faded into the background of my consciousness. As I pondered the enigmatic presence before me, a subtle shift in the room's temperature unsettled me, causing a slight rise of goosebumps along my arms. The warmth of my dwindling coffee dissipated swiftly, leaving behind a delicate film of condensation on its surface. I noticed the shadows cast by the lamp began to move in a manner that defied the gentle flicker of the bulb, dancing across the walls in intricate patterns that eluded my understanding. The volumes on my shelves seemed to drink in more light than natural, creating pockets of darkness that felt unnaturally deep. A mysterious fragrance began to permeate the air, redolent of ancient parchment, morning dew, and an elusive undertone that evaded identification. It evoked memories of forgotten libraries and the musty allure of antiquarian bookshops, tinged with a hint of starlit skies and distant whispers of wind. The figure in the corner remained still, a silent sentinel, neither advancing nor receding. When I dared to meet its gaze directly, it melted into the shadows, but in my peripheral vision, it solidified into a more distinct form. I averted my eyes, instead observing its reflection in the darkened window, where it seemed to possess a tangible presence that defied explanation. My research notes lay neglected on the desk, the ink appearing to flow and shift under the dim illumination. The words I had penned earlier now appeared foreign, as if another hand had scripted them in a language just beyond my grasp. The pages rustled softly, though no breeze stirred the stagnant air of my enclosed study. The ticking of the grandfather clock ceased to feel like the mere passage of time, transforming into a murmured dialogue between the known and the unknown. Each tick drew a subtle response from the shadows, a movement or shift that I sensed more than saw. The rhythmic cadence wove a hypnotic spell, drawing me into a realm between consciousness and reverie. Gradually, my initial trepidation gave way to a peculiar fascination. The enigmatic figure no longer felt like an intruder, but rather a forgotten companion, a presence from a dream or a distant memory. The boundaries between reality and fantasy blurred as the night deepened, and I struggled to pinpoint the moment when I had first noticed its presence. Eyes heavy with weariness, I watched as light and shadow played across the walls of my study, the books pulsating with a hidden energy that whispered of untold stories, concealed memories, and veiled truths. The rain outside took on a new cadence, carrying cryptic messages within its gentle patter. Hours ebbed away, and I teetered on the edge of wakefulness, suspended in a liminal state betwixt sleep and cognizance. In these twilight moments, I came to the realization that the figure in my midst had always been there, an unseen witness to my nocturnal pursuits, a silent companion in my moments of introspection. With the gradual onset of dawn, a pale light filtered through the windows, bathing the room in a soft glow. The figure began to fade, not abruptly, but like mist dissolving in the embrace of morning sun. The shadows receded to their rightful places. The mysterious scent dissipated, and the ticking of the grandfather clock resumed its steady rhythm. Surveying my notes in the growing light, I found them unchanged, devoid of cryptic symbols or shifting script. The sole remnant of my nocturnal encounter was a peculiar symbol etched in the margin of my notebook, a curved line intersecting with 3 dots, a sigil whose origin eluded my memory. To this day, in the quiet hours of the night, I occasionally sense that ethereal presence lingering in my study, a silent specter that veils itself in mystery. It chooses not to reveal itself as vividly as it did on that initial night, perhaps biding its time for a future juncture or content in its role as a spectral companion during the tranquil interludes between twilight and dawn. Story 34. Venturing into an ancient eatery marked for destruction, I was enveloped by a peculiar scent that lingered in the stale air, a fusion of freshly baked bread intertwined with a hint of caramelized sugar. Soft light cast haunting shadows upon peeling walls, and every creak in the vacant dining area murmured tales of banquets and misfortunes long forgotten. Abandoned places had always beckoned me, their quietude offering a peculiar solace. As a seasoned photographer specializing in the beauty of decay, I believed I had witnessed it all. Yet, from the instant I crossed the threshold, this place felt distinct. The dwindling afternoon sun filtered through grimy windows, painting ethereal patterns that danced along weathered floorboards like phantom footsteps. The allure of the kitchen pulled me in first, its stainless steel surfaces muted by years of disuse. However, something felt amiss. The surfaces appeared oddly free of dust, as though someone had recently wiped them down. My fingertips glided across a countertop, encountering a smooth, cool texture. It was then that I detected a faint warmth, subtle but undeniable, emanating from the ancient brick oven nestled into the far wall. The fragrance intensified as I drew closer, carrying whispers of rosemary and thyme beneath the sweetness. Though my logical mind protested that the oven could not possibly be warm, the stones exuded heat akin to a slumbering giant's breath. In the dim light, I could have sworn I glimpsed a flicker of movement within its shadowed cavity. Forgoing my camera, forgotten at my side, I found myself lured to a small office concealed behind the kitchen. Faded photographs adorned the walls, countenances from various eras peering out from behind scratched glass. Yet one picture seized my attention. A group of employees standing proudly before the brick oven, the date just weeks prior to the abrupt closure of the restaurant 30 years before. The longer I scrutinized the image, the more details surfaced. The oven remained unchanged, right down to the peculiar arrangement of weathered bricks surrounding its arch. Yet there was something more. A phantom in the backdrop, barely discernible, its shape eluding comprehension. Drawing nearer, The aroma of bread grew more potent, accompanied by a soft hum wafting from the kitchen. Time seemed to warp within that realm. The daylight outside had scarcely shifted, yet my timepiece indicated that hours had slipped away. Upon reviewing the photographs from that day, I discovered peculiar anomalies, enigmatic figures in the background that I knew had not been present, and wisps of steam rising from an oven that should have been cold and lifeless. Periodically, I felt compelled to return to that eatery, yet I could never locate it again. The streets appeared to shift and obscure its whereabouts, safeguarding its mysteries. Yet, on tranquil nights, a hint of that same fragrance, bread and caramelized sugar, would drift through my window. In those moments, I pondered whether the restaurant had found me instead of the reverse. The demolition never transpired. The demolition team arrived one dawn to find naught but an empty plot, as if the structure had never existed. Nonetheless, locals whispered that on certain evenings, under the perfect illumination, they could glimpse the outline of the old restaurant shimmering in the air. And if one listened intently, they might catch the sound of an oven door creaking open, and sense the aroma of fresh bread baking in a kitchen that resided no longer in our realm. The photograph I captured of the staff before the brick oven, I still possess. At times, late into the night, I scrutinize it, endeavoring to unravel the enigma I encountered. The shadow in the backdrop now appears clearer, resembling a figure in an apron, hands poised as if kneading imperceptible dough. Yet, the most peculiar detail, one that eluded me until recently, is in the reflection of the oven's gleaming handle, where a figure seems to be taking the picture. A figure garbed in the same attire I wore on my visit, standing in a kitchen forsaken for 3 decades. As I pen these words, the scents of bread and caramelized sugar envelop my abode, more potent than ever before. And from the corner of my eye, I catch glimpses of a warm glow emanating from an oven that no longer exists. Story 35. In the heart of a secluded forest, a hidden treasure awaited my discovery as I ventured along a winding trail. Beneath a blanket of tangled vines, an ancient stone well lay dormant, its secrets shrouded in the glow of the full moon. The eerie light pulsated, casting a spell over the surrounding undergrowth, beckoning me with a mixture of awe and trepidation. The air was cool and heavy with the scent of moss and earth, creating a tranquil atmosphere that seemed to lull the senses into a state of peaceful anticipation. As I approached the well, my footsteps whispered softly on the carpet of fallen leaves, blending with the hushed symphony of the night. The well itself was a relic of bygone eras, its weathered stones bearing intricate carvings that spoke of a forgotten time. Smoothed by the caress of wind and rain, the carvings seemed to pulse in harmony with my breath, as if the well itself were a living entity, aware of my presence in its midst. The forest, usually abuzz with the chatter of nocturnal creatures, had fallen into a profound stillness. Even the crickets, my loyal companions on countless evening strolls, had fallen silent, leaving only the gentle rustle of leaves in their wake. The moonlight filtered through the canopy above, casting ethereal patterns on the forest floor, a dance of light and shadow that seemed to mirror the mysteries of the well. Drawn by an unseen force, I reached out to touch the carvings on the well's rim. The stone felt cool and smooth beneath my fingertips, vibrating with a subtle energy that seemed to hum in harmony with the night. Its surface, almost metallic in texture, glowed from within, casting strange shadows that danced across my hands in a mesmerizing display. The light emanating from the well was unlike anything I had ever seen, its warm radiance enveloping me in a comforting embrace. It reminded me of sunlight filtering through water, creating a world of shifting colors and shapes that defied explanation. Yet there was a sense of familiarity to it, a feeling of ancient wisdom that whispered of secrets long forgotten. Driven by curiosity, I leaned closer, peering into the depths of the well. Instead of darkness, I beheld a vast expanse of swirling lights like distant stars caught in a celestial whirlpool. As I gazed deeper, intricate patterns emerged from the light, fleeting glimpses of a world beyond my own comprehension. A soft hum filled the air, barely audible at first, but growing in intensity with each passing moment. It was a sound that resonated deep within me, stirring memories of forgotten dreams and half-remembered tales. The hum seemed to pulse in time with the light, weaving a hypnotic melody that blurred the boundaries of time and space. From the depths of the well, tendrils of light rose like ethereal mist, carrying with them the scent of rain on stone and something older, something primal that tugged at the corners of my soul. The mist enveloped me in a cool embrace, swirling around my arms in a gentle caress, as if whispering ancient secrets in a language only the heart could understand. In that fleeting moment, I glimpsed visions of ages past, of ceremonies and rituals performed in reverence to the well's enigmatic glow. Each flickering light held a story untold, a memory preserved in the fabric of time, waiting to be unraveled by those who dared to listen. As the light began to fade, a sense of profound peace washed over me, like a wave of serenity that soothed the restless corners of my mind. The well had shared its secrets with me, imparting a wisdom that transcended words, a truth that resonated in the deepest recesses of my being. When I finally stepped back, the moon had shifted in the sky, marking the passage of time in a language only nature could decipher. The forest had returned to its nocturnal symphony, the cricket's song rising once more in harmonious chorus. Yet the well remained, its glow now a mere whisper of its former brilliance, a subtle reminder of the mysteries that lay just beyond our grasp. Since that fateful night, I have revisited the well many times, drawn by a longing I cannot explain. On clear evenings, when the moon hangs full and luminous in the sky, I catch glimpses of that familiar glow through the trees, a tantalizing mirage that beckons me to the edge of the unknown. The well's enigmatic light lingers in my memory, a silent guardian of mysteries untold, a reminder that some truths are meant to be felt rather than understood. It whispers of a world beyond our comprehension, a realm of wonder and beauty that defies explanation, inviting us to dance on the threshold of the infinite, where time and space converge in a symphony of light and shadow. Story 36. Late one night, as I delved into the rarely visited depths of my home's basement, a soft, haunting melody began to drift through the darkness, filling the air with a mysterious allure. The sound reverberated off the cold concrete walls, mingling with the ancient aroma of stone and faded recollections. Each note carried a whisper of a forgotten tale waiting to be unraveled. This basement had always held a peculiar charm, a heaviness in the air and a silence pregnant with anticipation. Rain tapped gently above, creating a soothing rhythm that matched my steps as I ventured further into the dim expanse. 2 months prior, my grandfather had passed this house down to me, and I had spent many evenings exploring its rooms, yet the basement remained largely unexplored. Tonight, a strange pull beckoned me downward. Perhaps it was the unusual warmth seeping from beneath the closed door, or the wooden steps that groaned with a melodic quality. The haunting melody grew clearer as I navigated through the dust-shrouded furniture, each item a relic of the past. It resembled an old music box tune, but with lingering notes that hung in the air, refusing to fade. Among the forgotten belongings, I uncovered an elegant armchair swathed in a white sheet. Removing the cover released a sparkling cloud of dust under my flashlight's beam. The chair, adorned in worn burgundy velvet with intricate carvings, exuded a sense of familiarity, though I was certain I had never laid eyes on it before. As I settled into the seat, the music subtly shifted, becoming more defined. The velvet felt warm, as if recently occupied. An odd detail struck me. There was no echo, no sound rebounding off the walls, only the enigmatic melody enveloping me in darkness. I closed my eyes, surrendering to the tune's embrace. Visions materialized in my mind, strangers in bygone settings, a woman at a piano from faded photographs, a child learning to play, and my grandfather, youthful and smiling. The atmosphere in the basement morphed, hovering between warmth and chill, suffused with the scent of aged books, piano keys, and a hint of forgotten perfume. Breathing in sync with the music, I felt time slip away. When I opened my eyes, the flashlight revealed shadows moving in an unnatural dance, as if submerged in water. The darkness pulsed softly between the beams, matching the melody's rhythm. Lost in the music's tale, I hummed a tune unknown yet deeply familiar. Joy and sorrow intertwined in the notes, whispering of memories etched into the house's very essence. A gentle pressure on my shoulder startled me, a comforting touch that felt like a long-lost embrace. The melody swelled, imparting a profound realization. This basement held more than mere objects. It cradled stories woven into its foundation. Rising from the chair, I felt transformed, serene. The melody faded, not ending but melding into the walls, becoming the house's heartbeat. Ascending the stairs, I sensed a change within me, a shift not of fear but of understanding. The melody had imparted a message, a secret encoded in its music. On quiet nights, I am drawn back to that basement chair, where the tune continues its eternal serenade, sharing stories for those willing to listen. Some mysteries are meant to comfort, to envelop in their enigmatic embrace. The basement is now my sanctuary, where time dances to its own tune and memories linger in the shadows. I no longer seek answers or origins. Some truths are best left in the ethereal realm where music transcends generations, and the past extends a gentle hand to touch the present. Story 37. On a drizzly afternoon, under the spell of rain's soft embrace, I set out to explore an ancient trail nestled near a dense forest. The damp earth exhaled a symphony of scents, the rich perfume of moist soil intermingling with the gentle decay of fallen leaves. Each raindrop birthed a mirror-like puddle along the path, reflecting the world in miniature. To my wonderment, the trail would play tricks on my eyes, vanishing and reappearing in stretches, as if nature itself toyed with my perception. Undeterred, I pressed on, my senses attuned to the whispers of the forest, a mysterious hush that enveloped me in its enigmatic embrace. The rain's delicate patter against the leaves wove a soothing melody, guiding my steps deeper into the mist-shrouded wilderness. Each footfall squelched softly in the mud, a deliberate cadence amidst the shifting shadows. The air grew heavy with moisture, carrying echoes of an ancient past, secrets long forgotten. Amidst the moss-draped trees, I spied curious patterns, perfectly circular formations etched into the bark, too precise to be mere chance. As I ventured forth, the rain transitioned from a downpour to a gentle mist, casting an otherworldly stillness over the forest. The trail ahead would materialize sharply one moment, only to dissolve into nothingness the next, re-emerging further along as if breathing in rhythm with the woods. Time warped in this mystical realm, minutes stretching and compressing in a dance of shadows and light. I found myself entranced by the dance of mist around the trees, each swirl a silent invitation to delve deeper into the unknown. The forest whispered its secrets in the language of droplets on my skin, each touch a fleeting caress of recognition. Deeper into the woods, a wondrous discovery awaited. Patches of earth that greedily swallowed my footprints, erasing all trace of my passage as if reclaiming its own. The ground felt alive beneath my feet, responsive and velvety, resonating with a primal energy that stirred something deep within me. Subtle anomalies revealed themselves, rain defying gravity in upward spirals, stones rearranging in geometric perfection when my gaze shifted. Rather than fear, each revelation filled me with awe and serenity. A symphony of nature unfolded around me, raindrops harmonizing with distant wind chimes, a melody without source that wove through the trees like a silver thread. My breath synchronized with this ethereal rhythm, my consciousness attuned to the forest's ancient song. As daylight waned, the trail's vanishing act intensified, whole sections dissolving into pristine forest floor. Yet an intuition as natural as the rustle of leaves guided me unerringly forward. The mist took on hues of pale blue and soft purple, pulsing with an inner light that whispered of unseen wonders. Tiny motes of luminescence danced in the air, responding to my presence with graceful pirouettes, a celestial ballet in the twilight. These gentle lights illuminated the forest's hidden depths, guiding me through the veil of dusk. Upon my return journey, the rain resumed its tender descent, a benediction from the heavens above. The forest exhaled a sigh of contentment, and I realized that I had been granted a glimpse into its mysteries. The vanishing trail had not led me astray, but had beckoned me to merge with the ancient pulse of the woods, to become one with its timeless rhythm. Even now, I can summon in my mind's eye the allure of that fading path, a lesson in harmony and unity with the boundless expanse of nature. The vanishing trail, a whisper of the extraordinary, a mirror reflecting the eternal dance of presence and absence in the heart of the forest. Story 38. In a forgotten corner of the attic, amidst the hushed whispers of dust motes dancing in sunlight's slant, I stumbled upon a treasure veiled in time's embrace. A weathered chest, its time-worn exterior a promise of secrets long kept, beckoned me closer. Within its depths, nestled beneath forgotten trinkets and relics of yesteryears, lay a leather-bound diary, a relic of forgotten tales, its pages tinged with the sepia hues of age. As I traced the delicate script that adorned the diary's pages, the faint scent of old paper and vanilla enveloped me, weaving a tapestry of nostalgia and mystery. Each word penned by a hand long stilled whispered of untold truths and veiled lives, drawing me deeper into the enigma of its author. Elizabeth, her name a whisper on the wind, wove her tales with elegant strokes of ink that meandered like rivers through the parchment. Seated upon a weathered armchair, its ancient bones creaking in harmony with my every movement, I delved into Elizabeth's world. The soft patter of rain against the attic windows provided a gentle backdrop, a lullaby of nature's own composition. Through her words, I unearthed a peculiar phenomenon that unfurled each midnight. A soft, haunting hum that wove through the stillness of her room like a melody from another realm. Not a discordant note in the symphony of night, Elizabeth likened the sound to wind chimes carried on a zephyr's breath. 7 minutes it lingered, a spectral visitor in the cloak of darkness, before vanishing into the folds of night's embrace. With each entry, her prose evolved, painting vivid portraits of the shifting shadows that danced in the moonlight's embrace, whispering secrets known only to the night. Yet it was her dreams that held the key to a world beyond the veil of waking hours. In the realm of slumber, Elizabeth found herself amidst a library of dreams, where tomes bound in aged leather mirrored the very essence of her diary. Each page, inscribed in cryptic mirror writing, divulged truths that eluded her waking mind, leaving behind a sense of profound revelation that lingered upon dawn's arrival. Pressed flowers, tokens of fleeting beauty, adorned the diary's pages, violets, forget-me-nots, and sprigs of lavender, each a silent witness to the mysteries that unfolded. The lavender, a harbinger of nights humming with unseen energy, spoke of a legacy entrusted to her care, the inheritance that bound her to a destiny veiled in shadows. As I neared the final pages, a chill crept through the attic's air, a spectral presence heralding the culmination of Elizabeth's journey. Her last words, penned with serene acceptance, hinted at a passing of guardianship, a torch carried from one hand to the next in the dance of time's eternal waltz. Closing the diary, a newfound warmth radiated from its leather-bound embrace, a beacon of light in the attic's dim expanse. The rain outside whispered secrets of its own, a serenade of mysteries entwined with the fabric of existence. In the nights that followed, as the moon cast its silver glow upon the world, Shadows in my room took on a life of their own, a silent ballet choreographed by unseen hands. The diary, a silent sentinel on my bedside table, beckoned with promises of revelations yet untold. Amidst the stillness of night, I found solace in the unspoken truths that lingered between its pages, a reminder that some mysteries are meant to unfurl in their own time. And as I lay in the twilight between waking and dreaming, I listened for the faint echo of wind chimes in the midnight air, a reminder of the legacy that awaited, patient and timeless. The diary, a vessel of secrets and whispers, cradled the essence of Elizabeth's tale, a legacy waiting to be passed on. And in the quiet moments of reverie, I pressed flowers between its blank pages, a silent vow to carry forth the torch of the inheritance into the tapestry of nights yet to come. For in the dance of shadows and moonlight, I found a kinship with Elizabeth's legacy, a bond woven through time's eternal embrace. Story 39. Late one misty night, I found solace in a time-worn inn perched on the outskirts of a sleepy town. Within the softly illuminated lobby, a subtle, persistent hum began to seep from the very walls themselves. The weathered wallpaper and groaning wooden beams seemed to share sagas of departed souls and forsaken tragedies. A musty fragrance of aged timber and stagnant air intermingled with the murmurs, luring me into an enigma safeguarded by the structure for generations. The elderly innkeeper, her silver hair neatly coiled, passed me a brass key with quivering hands. "Room 17, she murmured, her voice a faint whisper amidst the gentle patter of rain on the window panes. "Take heed of the floors at night. They have a way of conversing with newcomers." Once, her cryptic caution might have unnerved me, but wariness had numbed my senses to all save the allure of slumber. Ascending the carpeted stairs, each step exhaled a soft sigh beneath my weight. The wallpaper, a faded tapestry of delicate vines and blossoms, seemed to undulate in my peripheral vision. Yet when I turned to gaze directly, all remained motionless. The air grew denser as I climbed, bearing the sweet aroma of ancient books and dried lavender. Room 17 awaited at the far end of a lengthy corridor, its brass digits tarnished by time. The key glided effortlessly into the lock, as though the door anticipated my arrival. Within, a grand four-poster bed dominated the chamber, its dark wooden frame reaching skyward like grasping tendrils. Heavy drapes framed a rain-streaked window, while an aged armchair nestled in the corner, its fabric worn smooth by countless occupants. Nestling into bed, the murmuring intensified. It did not originate from fellow guests or the storm outside. It resonated from deep within the very skeleton of the edifice. The walls seemed to inhale, expanding and contracting with each whispered syllable. I found myself entranced by their cadence, my breath synchronizing with the room's gentle pulse. In that curious liminal space between wakefulness and dreams, I began to decipher fragments of the murmurs. They recounted tales of wayfarers from eras long past, of clandestine confidences shared in hushed tones, of love stories that blossomed and withered within these very walls. The voices intertwined like threads in an unseen tapestry, each adding its own hue to the history of this hallowed place. One whisper, in particular, caught my ear, a woman's voice, soft yet urgent. "Remember the mirror," it urged. My gaze drifted to the ornate mirror above the dresser. Within its antiquated surface, I beheld not solely my reflection, but something more profound. The glass seemed to harbor depths beyond its physical confines, akin to a portal into another epoch. The longer I stared, the more the room's reflection began to shift. The furnishings remained unchanged, yet subtle alterations occurred. The wallpaper appeared fresher, the hues more vivid. Shadows danced in manners inconsistent with the flicker of my bedside lamp. In one corner, I could almost swear I witnessed the armchair's fabric mend itself. Years of wear unraveling like a reel played in reverse. Yet these transformations evoked not fear, but a profound tranquility. The walls persisted in their gentle murmuring, now accompanied by the soft creaking of floorboards and the distant melody of wind through the eaves. Each sound melded into a lulling symphony that seemed to cradle my consciousness. Throughout the night, I drifted between wakefulness and slumber, each awakening heralding new whispers, new narratives. The inn bared its memories willingly, akin to a grandmother imparting familial lore. I gleaned of concealed missives beneath floorboards, of covert rendezvous in the dead of night, of jubilant festivities and silent farewells. Each tale felt akin to a gift bestowed upon me by the structure itself. With the advent of morning, its pale light filtering through rain-drenched windows, the whispers gradually waned. The walls settled into a contented hush, having shared what they deemed fit for me to know. While packing my belongings, I espied a change in the mirror's reflection, a small key resting upon the dresser, an item absent before. The enigma of what the walls endeavored to convey that night remained unsolved. Perhaps certain secrets are best left partly heard, like melodies carried on a distant zephyr. Yet, reminiscing on that evening at the ancient inn, I feel a profound sense of honor, aware that I was chosen as a transient custodian of its myriad tales. Even now, years later, I occasionally press my ear against the walls of antiquated edifices, yearning to capture another whispered saga. And on tranquil nights, when the world grows hushed, I swear I can still discern the gentle murmuring of those age-old walls, beckoning me back to that rain-soaked twilight when the boundary between past and present blurred as thinly as aged wallpaper. Story 40. Amidst the relics of time in my attic, a faded photograph whispered a tale long forgotten. The scene captured within its worn frame seemed to dance with a mysterious energy as I held it in my hands. A delicate perfume of old roses and aged parchment wafted through the air, weaving a tapestry of nostalgia around me. The figures frozen in time on that yellowed paper beckoned me to listen, their gentle smiles holding secrets untold. As the late afternoon sun filtered through the dusty window, casting a warm glow upon the wooden floorboards, I sank into the embrace of an ancient rocking chair. Its rhythmic creaking formed a lullaby that carried me deeper into the realm of memories. Tracing the edges of the photograph with my fingertips, I felt the story it held etched into every crease and corner. The garden party scene unfolded before me, a glimpse into a bygone era of elegance and grace. Ladies in flowing gowns and gentlemen in their finest attire stood frozen in a moment of celebration, their faces alive with concealed whispers. In the backdrop, a grand Victorian house loomed, its windows reflecting the setting sun of a distant evening. Yet, amidst the revelry, one figure stood apart, a woman in pearl white, her gaze fixed upon me with an enigmatic expression. As I delved into her mysterious eyes, a chill descended upon the attic, the fragrance of roses growing stronger around me. Closing my eyes, I allowed the stillness of the space to envelop me, drawing me deeper into the enigma of the photograph. When I reopened my eyes, a subtle shift had occurred. The light within the picture pulsated with a newfound warmth, as if breathing life into the captured moment. The woman in white had moved, her hand reaching towards an unseen horizon beyond the frame. In a trance, I surrendered to the enchantment of the photograph. The echoes of a distant melody intertwined with the creaking of the chair, painting a soundscape of forgotten symphonies. The scent of roses mingled with notes of Earl Grey tea and the sweetness of freshly baked pastries, transporting me to a world where past and present intertwined seamlessly. The boundaries blurred as the figures within the image stirred to life, their colors bleeding into reality like watercolors on a canvas. The woman in white emerged with clarity, a pendant around her neck shimmering with ethereal light. The temperature dropped further, and I pulled my sweater tighter, embracing the chill that whispered of bygone whispers. Shadows lengthened in the attic, yet the photograph glowed softly, revealing hidden details, A teacup trembling with unseen vibrations, a butterfly suspended in mid-flight, frozen by an invisible breeze. Lost in the dance of time, I swayed in my rocking chair, the woman's eyes locking with mine across the expanse of years, conveying a message unspoken yet understood. Her pendant, a mirror of one long tucked away in my grandmother's jewelry box, sparked a realization that fluttered like a moth in the night. As evening descended upon the attic, the light dimmed, but the photograph retained its gentle luminescence. The woman's outstretched hand now pointed towards a small door in the distant house, igniting a curiosity that tugged at the edges of my consciousness. The distant waltz that had lingered on the fringes of my senses grew clearer, the guests of the garden party swaying in an eternal rhythm. The woman in white remained still, her smile holding the key to a secret shared across generations. In her features, I glimpsed the reflection of my grandmother in her youth, a connection woven through time and memory. As night draped its veil outside the attic window, the photograph gradually returned to its silent state, the figures frozen once more, the music fading into the shadows. Only the scent of roses lingered, blending with the familiar mustiness of the attic, a bittersweet reminder of fleeting moments. Placing the photograph back into its album, I descended the stairs, feeling the weight of my grandmother's pendant against my heart, a silent reminder of the mysteries that intertwine our lives. In the hush of the evening, the echo of the distant waltz lingered, a reminder of the timeless dance of existence. Some secrets, I realized, are meant to remain veiled in the gentle embrace of mystery, like whispers carried on the wind of memory. The woman in white had shared her story with me, a tale woven between the threads of time, leaving me to ponder the mysteries that lie between what is known and what is imagined. Story 41. In the heart of an abandoned mansion, untouched by time for decades, a profound silence enveloped me. As I stepped into the grand foyer, adorned with portraits obscured by dust and drapes worn by age, the stillness seemed to pulsate with echoes of days gone by. Each creak of the decaying floorboards and every whisper of wind through shattered windows murmured tales long forgotten, beckoning me to listen. The soft glow of the late afternoon sun filtered through tattered curtains, casting elongated shadows that danced upon faded wallpaper like ethereal figures. My footsteps, gentle and hesitant, resonated through the air as I ventured further into the depths of the house, accompanied by the delicate descent of dust particles swirling in the dim light. The musty aroma of ancient wood and faded memories filled my senses with each inhale, while the distant rustling of branches against the window panes created a subtle, rhythmic harmony in the tranquil atmosphere. A majestic staircase, once a symbol of opulence, stood before me, its banister dulled by the passage of time. As I ascended, my hand trailing along the polished wood, a peculiar sensation overcame me. The dust beneath my fingertips vanished, revealing pristine sections that gleamed as if freshly tended. The warmth emanating from the wood contradicted the chill that hung in the air, adding a layer of mystery to the mansion's enigmatic allure. The second floor unveiled a corridor flanked by closed doors, each exuding a distinct aura of anticipation, like the pregnant pause between heartbeats. I noticed a subtle shift in temperature as I passed each threshold. Some areas enveloped me in a comforting warmth, while others harbored pockets of coolness that prompted me to draw my jacket tighter. One door stood slightly ajar, offering a glimpse into an old study bathed in the amber hues of dusk. The walls adorned with towering bookshelves, their spines faded but hinting at untold knowledge within. A massive wooden desk dominated the center, its surface veiled in a thin layer of dust, save for a solitary spot, a circular imprint, as if a recent object had been moved. Approaching the desk, the floorboards sighed beneath my weight, and the chair angled suggestively, as if its occupant had just departed moments prior. Within the pristine circle amidst the dust, A faint inscription caught my eye, illuminated by the soft light. "We never truly leave." As the sun descended further, elongating shadows across the study floor, a subtle shift in the room's ambience unfolded. Gentle currents of air stirred, though no windows were ajar. Books emitted soft, rhythmic sounds as their pages rustled, as if being perused by unseen hands. Seating myself in the desk chair, I ran my fingers along the polished surface, noting the room's newfound warmth that contrasted with the mansion's overall coolness. Patterns emerged in the ambient sounds surrounding me, the creaking of time-worn wood, the distant whispers of wind, the subtle movements of objects, forming a mysterious language just beyond my grasp. Time seemed to warp within that space, minutes blending into hours as I absorbed the mesmerizing atmosphere. The encroaching darkness outside the windows held no menace. Instead, it enveloped the study like a cocoon, fostering an intimate connection with the room. The dust motes twirling in the lingering light created shifting patterns that occasionally resembled words or faces, teasing my focus. As night descended in full, a remarkable phenomenon unfolded. The dust-free circle on the desk began to emit a faint luminescence, barely perceptible yet undeniably present. Pulsating slowly, akin to a breath, the glow subtly altered the room's temperature with each beat. The words, "We never truly leave," shimmered in the darkness, their message resonating deep within me. Compelled by an inexplicable urge, I extended my hand to touch the glowing circle, and a profound tranquility washed over me. The mansion's silence morphed into a melodic symphony of whispers, a harmonious blend of sounds that had always lingered, awaiting a keen listener. Each creak and rustle now bore significance, narrating tales of those who had occupied the space before me. Upon rising to depart, I noticed that my watch had ceased its ticking at some point during my reverie. The darkness of the house now felt alive, a palpable presence, rather than a mere absence of light. As I retraced my steps through the hallway and descended the staircase, a realization dawned upon me. The mansion's silence had never been void. It teemed with untold stories, patiently awaiting a receptive ear to unlock their secrets. The thought of revisiting that enigmatic mansion often crosses my mind, yearning to once again immerse myself in the symphony of whispers as twilight descends. In the quietude of my own home, echoes of that mystical silence occasionally resound, reminding me that spaces harbor more than memories. They cradle fragments of souls who once traversed their halls, lingering in the dust and shadows, yearning to be acknowledged. Story 42. As the soft, static-filled hum of the vintage radio permeated the stillness of my silent abode, a sense of nostalgia washed over me. The radio, a relic untouched for years, emitted a gentle melody that intertwined with the dim glow of my reading lamp, casting a warm aura over the room. Just as I reached out to silence the radio, a voice, velvety and familiar, drifted through the crackling static. It spoke words known only to me, words that stirred memories long buried in the recesses of my mind. Perched on my grandmother's cherished antique side table, the radio seemed to hold secrets of its own, secrets that unfolded with each whispered syllable. The tranquility of the evening was abruptly interrupted by the intrusion of this mysterious voice, a voice that resonated with a deep connection to the past. The rain outside provided a gentle rhythm, a lullaby of droplets against the window panes, as I sat ensconced in a cocoon of solitude, wrapped in the embrace of a familiar blanket. At first I dismissed the voice as a figment of my imagination, a trick of the mind in the quiet night. But as it persisted, weaving through the crackling static like a ghostly apparition, I could not deny its presence. "I remember the butterfly," it murmured, a phrase that sent a shiver down my spine. The butterfly, a symbol of our shared secret, a delicate memory from a time long past, known only to my grandmother and me. The voice continued its ethereal monologue, revealing hidden truths that only a select few could fathom. mentions of origami birds tucked away in a shoebox, the key beneath a loose brick in the garden wall, and the coded recipe for blackberry tea evoked a flood of memories, memories that lay dormant until that moment. The room filled with a scent so familiar, a blend of dried lavender and aged books, carrying with it the essence of my grandmother's presence. Each revelation, each shared memory, washed over me like a gentle tide, erasing the boundaries between past and present. The ambient noise of the static transformed into a soothing white noise, akin to the whispers of nature, a breeze through leaves, waves crashing on a shore. Time seemed to blur as the voice painted pictures of summers past, of unspoken tales, of moments lost to the passage of time. As the night wore on, the voice wavered, fading into the background like a distant echo. I yearned to grasp onto the fleeting words, to unravel the mysteries that lingered in the air, but something held me back. And in that moment of hesitation, I understood that some secrets are destined to remain shrouded in enigma, to be cherished in their silent beauty. In the final moments, as the voice dissipated into the void, a profound truth echoed through the stillness. The best secrets are the ones that remind us we're never truly alone. And with that, the static subsided, leaving behind only the pitter-patter of rain and the hushed cadence of my breath. I never touched the radio again after that fateful night. Yet in moments of solitude, when the rain taps gently against the window and the evening light casts shadows upon the radio's wooden frame, I swear I can discern a faint whisper of static, a reminder that some secrets are meant to be felt rather than heard. Story 43. On a crisp, starlit night, I ascended the metal rungs of the fire escape, reaching the rooftop of an aged apartment building. There, amidst the whispers of the city below, I stumbled upon a collection of captivating graffiti murals. Each mural told a story of fervor and sorrow, depicted in vibrant hues and intricate patterns that seemed to dance under the moon's gentle gaze. The urban air, tinged with the fragrance of rain and concrete, enveloped me in a sense of mystery as I gazed at the artwork, feeling as though I was glimpsing the creations of an enigmatic, unseen artist. Night after night, I found myself irresistibly drawn back to that rooftop haven, where every visit unveiled new nuances within the paintings that had eluded me before. Midnight blues entwined with silver strokes, forming mesmerizing designs that seemed to shift and transform with each passing moment in the soft moonlight. The gentle caress of the wind weaving through the nearby buildings provided a tranquil soundtrack to my silent observations. I began to meticulously document the evolving murals, for they never remained static. Sometimes, a new blossom would bloom in a hidden corner, its petals painted in deep purples and ethereal whites. Other times, intricate mathematical equations would emerge in the backdrop, their numbers and symbols flowing gracefully like verses on the concrete canvas. Curiously, the building's inhabitants never broached the subject of the artwork. When I inquired of the elderly woman residing on the top floor, she merely smiled and expressed her preference for the elevator. The maintenance man offered a nonchalant shrug, citing restricted access to the rooftop. Yet there I was, night after night, a silent observer to the art's evolution. One evening, I brought my sketchbook, settling into my customary spot with a determination to capture the intricate details. The air carried a weighty anticipation that night, laden with moisture and the promise of change. As I sketched, I noticed small handprints forming in the condensation on the rooftop's glass skylight. They materialized gradually, as though pressed from beneath, only to fade away like the mist of dawn. Moved by an inexplicable impulse, I began leaving small offerings for the elusive artist. Fresh tubes of paint, new brushes, even a thermos of warm tea on chilly evenings. By morning, the gifts would vanish, replaced by subtle alterations to the murals. A new bird might perch where I had left my offerings, or the steam from the tea would be delicately integrated into the existing design. The changes took on a personal tone. with elements of my own life subtly woven into the artwork. My favorite book resting on a painted shelf, the pattern of my scarf adorning a border, the exact shade of my eyes mirrored in a painted pool. The artist was observing me as I observed their creations. With the arrival of winter, the rooftop transformed into a sanctuary where time seemed to ebb and flow in a different cadence. On some nights I would arrive to find the paint still wet, glistening beneath the starry canopy, yet the artist's presence remained elusive. During a tranquil snowfall, a new addition graced the mural. A portrait not of a person, but of a moment, my initial night on the rooftop, captured from behind, depicting a figure gazing at the inaugural mural. The attention to detail was staggering, down to the tousled strands of my hair caught in the evening breeze. But in the painting, I was not alone. A shadowy figure stood beside me, extending a hand toward the wall, holding a brush dripping with starlight. In a moment of surreal curiosity, I reached out to touch the painted rendition of myself, only to find my fingers coated with a fine, shimmering dust that bore no resemblance to paint. It sparkled like crushed diamonds, seemingly melding into my skin, leaving behind a subtle luminescence that harmonized with the murals. The following morning, an inexplicable urge to create gripped me. Without hesitation, I picked up a brush that had materialized beside me and began to paint. The colors flowed like a river of memories and dreams, shaping a masterpiece that mirrored the enigmatic artist's style. Now I comprehend why the building's occupants remain silent about the rooftop artist. Certain mysteries are meant to be felt rather than elucidated. Some nights, I still ascend to that rooftop, unsure if I am there to create or to observe. The boundaries between artist and spectator have blurred, merging like wet paint blending into wet paint, birthing something entirely new. The murals continue to evolve, concealing our shared secret within layers of light and color upon the building's walls. On tranquil nights, when the stars align in perfect harmony, one might chance upon two shadows painting in unison on that rooftop, one casting a gentle radiance, the other wielding a brush dripping with starlight. But upon closer inspection, one would discern that both shadows belong to the same being, neither wholly tangible nor entirely real.